Happy New Year, everybody! This episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast is brought to you by Dylan Optics Sunglasses, our longest-running sponsor. Those beautiful matte finish lenses that you see me wearing in all the one-take videos, those are Dylan Optics. And they are manufactured in Italy and America using NIR lens technology, which allows less of the bad stuff into your eyes. It's a scientific thing, people. I don't know much about it. All I know is if you take a standard pair of sunglasses versus the Dylan Optics at the end of a very long day out in the desert filming, occasionally if I forget my Dylans, I'll have to wear the wrong sunglasses or borrowed sunglasses. Night and day difference. There's no pain in my eyes at the end of the day. It's great. Go to thesmokingtire.com, click on that Dylan banner under the Partners tab. And if you buy a pair of Dylan Optics sunglasses, guess what, folks? I will send you a Smoking Tire t-shirt as a token of my gratitude. Oh, and of course, speaking of going to thesmokingtire.com, we have other merch at thesmokingtire.com, t-shirts that Zachary and I have come up with. They are fun. We've got vintage look ones. We've got some sort of hokey, fun, jokey shirts. And support the people who make the videos and the content that you like by buying some of their merch once in a while. Check it out. Go to thesmokingtire.com. Click on the merch tab. Coming soon, not to the Smoking Tire Podcast. It's going to be a new show. Myself and Cameron Weiss coming later this month. Our show about watches, all about watches. It's going to be called Watch and Listen. And a lot of folks out there have been interested in watches when we bring them up on this show, and also have been like, you should really just start another show where you talk about watches. So that's what we're doing. It's going to be sponsored by Crown and Caliber, and we are going to get into the nitty-gritty, myself and the watchmaker Cameron Weiss, about what makes watches tick. Literally. What makes them tick. And it's going to be a video show like the Smoking Tire Podcast is, and we will have a microscope camera so that we can actually look inside watches as Cameron explains this stuff. It's going to be very, very cool. And that show, as well as this show, are sponsored by Beeline Coffee. My friend Nick Quarta and the people at Beeline Coffee have been creating these roasts. Normally, if you say, "Oh, car-themed coffee" to me, I'm like, yuck. Things don't need to be car-themed. They can be cars or not cars. And I would think it was cheesy. However, the Beeline Coffee, the actual coffee is so good that you could theme it you could theme it fucking daisies for all I care. The coffee's delicious. I personally go through about 2 pounds of it, 2 to 3 pounds of it a month. I am drinking the stuff in real quantity. It's really delicious. So check out BeelineCoffee.com, and if you use code TST at checkout for Beeline Coffee, 15% off your entire order. It's a good deal. BeelineCoffee.com. Now, enjoy the first Smoking Tire Podcast of 2018. Are we rolling like a freight train, flying like an airplane, speeding like a space brain? One more time tonight? I'm on a night train! Yo, we're recording, son. Don't use this for your own selfish purposes, TJ
exactly
Fry.
What I want to do.
I know that arm.
Oh, it's the Smoking Tire Podcast.
I know it's about to happen.
I think at 9:55 a.m., this may be the earliest podcast we've ever recorded in the day. I cannot recall single podcast other than this one with TJ Fry and welcoming Mr. Jeff White. Can we say it like that?
Sure.
We're southern and gentlemanly here, and it's important you say
Excuse you, sir. We are Jeff White. Is here.
Yeah. Welcome, boys.
So this is the earliest one. I don't know whether to say
think so.
thank you or you're welcome.
Well, you have to catch a flight.
Thank you is the correct phrase.
So
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
understand.
gonna go with.
Wow, I can hear everything you're fucking doing there, buddy.
It's a new system.
This is the new system. Those watching the video, hello video, will see the new system. If you're not watching the video, welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast audio version. And did you know we have video? We have video now. It's on YouTube. Pretty soon it's going to be live, but Step 1 on our way to live was getting good internet, which we now have. Step 2 was building the studio, which Zach and Timmy just did. So those watching the video can see the Studio Nuevo with our new microphones, you can see our faces. And
We used to have a forest of iron, just kind of.
the jungle of arm, and then the new mixing board over there, which is giant. Actually, Spin, can we get a shot of the new mixing board, Tim? It's it's a huge mixing board. I like that the Pearl Jam guy now hangs over the Yamaha mixing board. And then we've got a little bouquet of party mics over there. If we have more people, we can party mic it up.
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks like you guys can have at least probably
we could have
35 people on the podcast.
A veritable orgy.
Yeah.
I think on our 200th episode, we had like 18 people or something. It was fucking stupid.
Well, we only had 6 people on mics, but we had 8 people behind them just saying stuff, and it was terrible.
It went about as well as you
It's like the
mayhem.
people that come into the room that yell something into the background of the
Right.
podcast. You're like,
Yeah.
Hey,
But we also have new
tell them
microphones.
about the Camaro story.
yeah.
It's the Freebird of podcasts. But we also have new Sennheiser microphones and new cables and new everything. So I hope out there that people are like, holy shit, this sounds good now.
It's a hug for your ears.
Because on top of the thousands of dollars we just spent on shit, they just spent 3 days setting it up. So thank Timmy and Zach for doing it.
Nice work.
Hopefully it works.
Thank you.
Anyway, now let's do a show.
All right,
Here
sounds
we
like a
are.
plan.
Bienvenue.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing in town?
Well, Jeff, you want to field this one?
So we were the LA Auto Show, driving for the Iron Shekel, Mercedes-Benz Iron Shekel.
It's Iron
Shekel.
Shackle.
It's
Shekel.
The way you say it sounds like the Iron
Shekel.
Shekel.
So check it out. It's
Which sounds like a
there's a
Nazi
website for that.
punishment.
Yeah,
I'm
make
And
sure-
you
honest.
can't spell it like it sounds because that's not how you spell it.
How do you spell it for Timmy for the video for Google?
SCHOCKL.
Shackle.
Except it's that weird
Shackle?
O with the
Shackle.
two
It's the
dots over
Shackler?
it.
Shackle.
I don't have that keyboard.
Shocklivlu.
I don't have that
Oh,
keyboard
the
either.
umlaut.
Yeah.
Can we get a German spec keyboard? Okay,
Yeah.
so it looks like a roller coaster track that you drive a G Wagen
That's
on.
exactly what it is.
What everybody describes
That's
it as.
well. That's oh boy. That one was a 404
good
error.
shot there.
It's
All right.
yeah, but it's like
There's some pictures of it on my Instagram.
Yeah, that's
too.
pretty cool. So there's like at the auto shows, I'm familiar mostly with the Jeep one.
Right.
Right. Camp Jeep.
It's
Camp Jeep?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they call it. It's
Camp Jeep?
very similar. So basically, what they do is they build these giant road courses, and then they have
Leave
a
that picture up,
mountain and
Timmy.
all
That's
kinds
cool.
of-
Or find a better one. Yeah,
That's actually a really good shot.
that's
of
a
it.
dope shot. Yeah.
So long story short, they built this thing, and it packs down into this little trailer that gets towed behind a Unimog, and it looks pretty badass actually.
it's
And
sweet.
then
Wow.
we get there and we raise the top, and it's 25 feet tall.
27.
Oh,
at
so
the
in this
ramp.
photograph, in which the G Wagen is at the pinnacle of the Shackle,
Yeah.
that's
And
actually
the
on
market.
the roof of a trailer.
That's on the
that's on the top of
this
the
is
trailer.
all a trailer
on
down
the bottom
here.
right there.
The bottom is a trailer.
This goes up and then
Kick ass.
It's sweet, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pivot system, and then we just put ramps down and we build everything.
But
up,
like
so.
that's a seesaw. You drive
is.
up a seesaw.
Teeter-totter, yeah.
You drive
Yeah.
up the top, and then it tilts over so that you don't have a crazy breakover angle and like destroy the bottom of the truck. But long story short,
It
we
looks
put-
sketchier, but that's actually the less
Oh, it's-
sketchy way to do that.
It is, but it's still super sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. if you pull too far forward before it tips, is that just more momentum for when it tips over and then it's a little more
more weight.
violent?
Yeah,
That seems
yeah. But it's
scary.
also it's dampened, so there's a little, so you don't have to like slam down. Oh yeah, is that the video? I took a video of it at some point. I don't know if that's it.
That's in Europe. That one.
I just wanted to also fix this shot. So we got so this guy's just driving. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
This guy's just driving a G Wagen around.
He's got a G Wagen. It's purpose built for the G Wagen. So everybody asks us, "Oh, can a Jeep do this, or can our Land Rover do this?" And the honest answer is no. That doesn't mean
really
that they're
because of
not-
the weight distribution
the weight
of the thing
and
and
the clearance and everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
They-
they couldn't do
It's my dream all the time.
this
The
exact-
G-Class.
So there
This
it
is
is.
the most boring video.
Basically, what you just
Does
said
he
is
do
that
the
my
fucking
job
thing
is
at a certain
Here
point?
first,
Yeah, I mean that looks sufficiently sketchy. So he's
you can
driving
feel it,
up-
yes.
What is
The wheel.
42 degrees? Degrees.
left,
Is that
front.
percent?
So 42 degrees.
What's
is
the
like,
difference between degrees and percent?
all right, so percent is
without
degrees
traction,
is
and now
90 degrees
we
is
started
right.
into the 100%.
Percent is based off of how far you travel versus how high you go. So if you go 1 for 1 for
amazing.
Fantastic. 100% brake. So we're like 90-something%. Oh, that's up. That's that's legit.
So when you're driving down the highway.
No, I completely agree. Like, because you actually, TJ, I don't know about Jeff, but DJ, you're you driving instructor as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you do ride right seat on racetracks and stuff like
Yep.
that, which
Yep.
I don't. Fuck that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
But even here at like 1 mile an hour, it's like, I'm not.
Yeah. No.
And
I mean,
the other thing about that is we can give a better experience because we know where to brake, when to brake, how hard to brake. So I can drop somebody, we can drop down off that thing and really get on the brakes.
Yeah.
And people will just in their seat. And so they're not going to do that. They're going to creep down because they're so terrified
It could
of what
actually
they're
make
about
the
to do.
experience worse.
Yeah.
By
Oh, they
like
could.
not knowing how to do it right.
I mean,
Right.
they'll just lock up the brakes because once you have the lockers on, no ABS, no traction control, and you just slide down that thing.
So Jeff and I have this thing that we do because the whole goal is to try and put people through it, right? That's Mercedes' end goal. So we do what we call the speed round, where normally it's like 4 to 5 minutes to do, put 2 or 3 people in the truck, and then you go over and you give them the whole thing and you take their picture, and it's all the same shit that every other company does, right? Well, we started doing speed rounds where we were doing like 70 people an hour, and
where is the time made up?
the time is made up in basically getting them in the car and getting them buckled in, and then instead of like pausing on the steep side, we just drive straight up it. So now Jeff and I are like, speed round?
Speed round.
Yeah, let's do a speed round. And so we just start whipping around the bottom trying to get people through, and we hit, 123?
123.
We almost doubled what we can normally do. But then it becomes like, well, we don't want to sacrifice the experience of people. It's just that people were waiting an hour and 45 minutes to do this.
That shit is crazy.
Yeah.
We were just
to give up your email and your personal information to a company so that you can ride in a,
Yeah.
And like
That's
everybody
very
that
funny.
gets in either says one of 3 things. They either say, how do you get this job?
Yeah.
Are you sick of doing this yet?
Yeah.
Or this is my dream car.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Mostly women.
Does it come
who
with
say that.
Doberman?
yeah,
Wait, so, well, the answer to how do you get this job? Easier than you think.
yeah.
Are you sick of doing this
My
yet?
honest
Yeah.
answer
Yes.
is that I slept my way to the top.
Yeah.
So it's a funny question because we all have different experiences, of how to do what we do, which is travel around and get paid
Yeah.
to drive cars. And my experience, I started instructing and then kind of worked my way up through the industry and now met the right people and they started bringing me along. Jeff's experience was very different.
Yeah. So I started off driving Humvees in the Marine Corps, realized I really loved driving and that I was going to do that somehow professionally. And so got out, but my job in the Marine Corps was a jet engine mechanic.
Oh.
So everybody says, "Oh, you're gonna have the greatest job when you get out," and it's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have the greatest job."
Do you continue to be a jet engine mechanic?
No, I
Was
left
that what they were implying the greatest job
Right,
would
you're
be?
gonna have this great job when you get out. You're gonna get paid good money, and they're right. You are, but
Is
it's
that a
gonna
good
be,
job?
In my opinion, no. Show up to the same warehouse every day, build the same engine. It becomes like a pizza box after a while. You're just like putting this engine together, taking it apart, putting it together. It's not fulfilling. Pay is good because aviation mechanics get paid pretty good. You get benefits and stuff like that, but you're showing up to the same warehouse every day, working with the same people. Most of them retirees from the military, so they're all bitter and stuff because they're doing the same thing you're doing. And sometimes I'm getting paid more because I might have an inspection certification or whatever. But ultimately, you can't fly the thing. So I'm working on this.
Yeah, they don't give you seat time.
Yeah, I'm
in
working
the-
on this race engine that I get to give to a guy who goes and has a lot of fun in it.
Yeah.
And then brings it back to me when it's broken, and I fix it.
Yeah.
and,
And you're like, this fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
We went to Bowling Green where they build Corvettes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
The factory. And among the many funny things we saw at Bowling Green, one of the very saddest things we saw there was that all LT4 engines, so the Z06 and CTSV motor, the supercharged motor, it's like 4 people that build every single one of them. Maybe 6, but I think it was like
it was a room in the factory.
it was a room that's not much bigger than
this.
this studio where
Yeah.
they build all of them, and it's like each one is handmade, and they and we met these people, and they were so nice, and I'm like, how sick is the new Z06, right? And they're like, oh, we don't know, they don't let us go, and I'm like,
Right.
there's,
What? Yeah.
There's like 5 of you, like what? there's a racetrack across the street, like an hour of seat time, like lets you experience this engine that you're like spending 12 hours a day, like installing
That
crankshafts.
sounds like the most GM thing in the world.
It was so sad. Like I would love to go get a press car and like rent a racetrack just for those people.
For real, I would.
Matter of fact,
we
should find someone to pay for that.
Yeah.
that would be like a good.
Well, GM should pay for it.
Honestly,
GM
would.
should probably
Hey,
pay
surprise!
for
This is
that.
what we did with your press car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. But I can't say it surprised me
that's
because
the
the automotive industry is
Same
so huge. Jeff and I were talking about this last night. Everything in the automotive industry is so massive that you get removed. Like, so for example, when I don't know how much detail I'm allowed to go into, but
Don't get yourself in trouble, but by all means, give us all of it.
Yeah, give you the beans. So when we do these types of events, we're not hired by the car company. Like they don't even, I don't think I ever even meet somebody from, whoever it is, Mercedes or Toyota or, Honda, it doesn't matter. Like I don't know anybody from them. They don't hire
I do meet them.
Agency.
They have an agency who then hires that creative agency or whatever they call them.
Engaged, spelled with a 4 instead of an A.
It's like the number NG4.
Right. It's because there are 4 pillars to marketing, TJ.
And then they remove all the vowels.
They're the first pillar, and then they hire another pillar who then hires us, and then we hire like the brand ambassadors. And there's like 8 layers to this crap,
And
and
the emails are the worst.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's you're not shitting on your company that by saying that. That's a universal truth of working with a creative agency. It's Tom Morningstar. You remember Tom?
Yeah, I love Tom.
Tom Morningstar once, like, he's had several amazing world-class outbursts at Suits, and he'll never top the telling the Ford people that Lincoln and Mercury need to die. That's one of the greatest I've ever heard stories about Tom. The second greatest one is
he had a lot of free days for a while after that.
I forget what the project was, but there were layers of agencies that involved. And the emails kept going back and forth, and me and Tom were the end. We were the people with the cameras, and that we were the end.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about you.
And people just kept appearing in the emails, like, out of nowhere. Like, there'd just be another reply to all with, like, this one new person in it. And, like, throwing in their ideas. And after a while, Tom was like, who the fuck are all these people? Why do they have anything to say?
Yeah.
They got so mad, but like that's how
it is. It's terrible. And like you saw the shekel, right? It comes in a trailer. How many people do you think it should take to set that thing up?
2.
Probably maybe like
maybe what, a day?
I think more than 2. I think that's a little more intensive than it looks. I think probably 5 or 6 over a day or 2 could do it.
There's 4 of us driving. There's 2 trucks doing laps. One goes one way, the other goes another, and it tilts the thing back and forth, right? So there's 2 trucks always running and 4 drivers. The 4 of us can set that thing up in 4 or 5 hours.
It's pretty good.
And tear it down in 4 or 5 hours because we know how to do it. Right now, when we go to these auto shows, because they're auto shows, there's union guys everywhere, and they're like, "Well, you know what? You gotta have the rig has gotta be there, and you gotta make sure you have 2 hours minimum.
I'm gonna need 2 no shows and 2 no works. And
well, I don't know where your box is, but I gotta if you got $75 on you, I could probably find and make this problem go away.
Oh my god!
So like we just get
this
screwed.
is the truth.
But when we go to like Texas or Florida, where the unions just kind of are much less whatever, we set it up in 4 or 5 hours and then we go drink, and it's awesome. And the thing is, for us, we're driving over it, so we're the ones that have the most vested interest in doing it right. And then I'm gonna whoa, is it like Terry and Jim are going to set it up and do a good job.
Well, you also know how it works. Like, you show up with this, they've never seen this before.
It takes 2 days for them to do it, and we got to stand there and be like, no, you're doing it wrong. And it's so frustrating.
It's not difficult to set up, but you have to do it in the correct order, and you have to set the angles correct.
Yeah.
To work
that seems
dude, if you're driving over this thing, I'd be extremely vigilant over
that's what I mean.
How many fucks were given about how it was
But then you got to
assembled.
sit there and you got to make sure they do it right. So I got to, instead of doing it in 4 hours and then going to drink with my buddies in some cool city, now I got to sit there for like 10 hours, and then they're like, oh, it's break time, I got to go take a 15-minute break, and you're like, well, you just got here.
Just started.
So that's annoying.
That's
kind of a universal thing in the industry.
That's the show circuit thing. That's all like show circuits, whatever industry you're in. But cars are tough. Like it's a big rig.
I just
Tell
don't
me
like
about
the way they treat
Unimog.
people. Yeah,
the Unimog is awesome.
Is it one of the new ones?
It's a 2005.
It's newer.
The one that we use.
Yeah.
Like what is I want to because there's that one the famous gas station. Tim knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's
National.
Are you
and
Jeff? Do
405.
you live in L.A.? Where do you live?
San Diego.
Okay, so here in L.A. at the corner of National and Sawtell is a gas station. Yeah, like that one. There's
Yeah.
a gas station, and this guy who owns the gas station has a collection of weird ass cars. And like he's got a tank. Have you been by there? I
Yeah.
went by there today. He's got a fucking tank over there. He's got a Unimog. He's got like this crazy 2-story trailer and a couple Ferraris. And so he has a Unimog like this. It's the only one I've ever seen like that.
They're awesome. So the guy that
You
the
have
guy
the
that
quad
we
cab,
work
the
with-
4-door one?
No, we just have a 2. But
Just that? Like that
All
one?
right. So here's the thing. Yeah. So you're looking at it, right? The cab sits over the front, and by the way, I just saw this yesterday. But the guy that runs it for us put it in super low crawl, ultra, whatever gear. It's in gear idling, and you can't tell it's moving. That's how low. And he like revs it to the moon, and it just barely like the letters on the tire start to rotate a
way.
little bit. I mean, the thing
How
is,
how
What would that be
at what,
for?
Yeah, what point do you have to go that
I mean,
slow?
how
I
stuck
don't
are
know.
you where normal low won't get it out? But that, I mean, that's
Timmy,
crazy.
our resident off-roader, Timmy can chime
No,
in.
it's just like the same thing that you were talking about with the G Wagen, but if you're not driving on steel with perfect traction,
Right,
I mean, when you're at 100% grade or 42 degrees or whatever you're talking about,
You also might be
you need-
pulling a
you need
trailer.
that crawl gear, exactly.
Yeah.
Lots of
Yeah.
payload up a really steep slope.
It does. I can see there being at some point that would. It's a very Mercedes thing to do, where it's like we can think of a very specific situation in which this
Yes.
might be applicable.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put it in there, and you're gonna pay for it, and you're never gonna use it. Just like all the lockers in the G Wagen. I had so many people get in the truck that are like, "What do
There's
those
3
even
lockers,
do?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
3.
there's-
Center,
and it's
rear,
awesome.
front.
I think that's. I don't know if it's totally unique, but it's definitely not normal. Like most locking vehicles have front and rear.
Yeah.
And this has a center diff, so it's essentially all-wheel drive on the street. So it's kind of nice to drive around. It doesn't lurch when you turn tight.
Well.
I mean,
yeah, define nice.
Now
to
listen,
drive on
I
the
took
street.
a G Wagen to a track day, so I am.
Well, first of all,
I can
that's
tell
your own
you
fault.
all about.
I took a G Wagen up in the Malibu Canyons, and after repeated hard stops, into a turn, they were smoking. The brakes were smoking.
Yeah.
That was a G550.
Yeah.
But when you're going slow with them, they work a lot better. But on the street, I think why I like the way it drives is because it's permanent all-wheel drive and it's got plenty of power. So when you get on the gas, one, it's a great noise, and it just gets up and moves, and also how you can place it because it's so narrow.
Yeah, I think the small
Yeah, the
footprint of
dimension.
it's actually like easy to
fits in a
park
compact
and stuff.
spot.
Yeah, it's easy to park and
it's
stuff
fun
like that.
to drive. Like it
Yeah,
just makes
it's
you
fun
feel
to
good.
drive. I
Like,
wouldn't go that far.
I totally went.
It's definitely not fun.
I'm not saying
It's like going
it's
to
a
Chuck E.
driver's
It's definitely
car.
not
Going
fun.
to Chuck E.
No.
Cheese as an adult, you're like, this is really fun for like an
No,
hour.
but you know what? Like being driven in a Rolls Royce is fun too, just for the experience. That's the same reason I would drive a G Wagen. Like it's just something different that I don't normally get to do. My favorite experience in a G Wagen was last year. We were down here for the LA Auto Show, and I was here for Thanksgiving because all the people that travel for the show didn't want to be with their families. So
And you're alone.
yeah, so I'm here by myself,
alone.
and I'm going, well, what am I going to do for Thanksgiving? And nothing is open because it's Thanksgiving, except apparently Koreatown, because evidently Koreans just don't close their restaurants, which was awesome. So we went to Koreatown.
They make money. They're hustlers.
It's an American holiday, TJ. So it's,
I'm aware of that.
Okay.
Thank you, Zach, for making me look like a clown. No, for real though. Like Koreatown was just open for business, and so we took a G Wagen and drove up there. And so I was with my friend Alex, and we're just blaring classic rap like Nas and just like bubblegum rap, just jamming in the G Wagen. Yeah. And we're driving through downtown LA just blaring music in a G Wagen in the middle of the night, and I'm like, this is probably the most LA thing I've ever done in my life.
It's up there. That's pretty
Yeah.
LA of you.
That's what every
Yeah.
G-Wagon does most of the time.
If
I
you
mean,
were
that's what they're
doing
built
that
for.
while talking about what is the best streets to take to get wherever you were
That's
going,
precisely
that
what
would
we were
be
doing.
the most LA thing.
on the
In
way
some
to
kind
a
of
Pilates
flat neon
class.
wrap. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the G Wagen? I just saw the sickest G Wagen. Honestly, the only ones I'm not into.
I saw the gold one.
The gold one,
That
two-door,
was badass.
bro. I went to. I'll plug them. I'll plug them. The Sunset GT is this new. There's like 3 new cars and coffee happening in LA right now. Like it's blowing up all the cars and coffee scene.
Awesome.
So this new one, the Sunset GT, is not in the canyons. It's actually like on Sunset in Beverly Hills.
Oh, I was hoping he was in the afternoon. I was like, yes.
Oh, it's later. It's from 9 to 11. Wagen. So it's definitely later than the other ones.
Later, yes.
Later. But look at that. That's so I found as soon as I pull up, there's a 2-door gold G Wagen on 24s. And I'm just like, I like that one. The soft top as well. I'm a fan of the soft top G Wagons. Those are the gray market imports that we didn't really get, but you could get.
I wish we could have got. They are a cool vehicle.
Yes.
But it's not. I don't think I would. Oh my God, the brand new ones start at 123,600.
I know, it's a little silly.
And I'm like, and I read an article
You get
a while
an
back.
05 for 30 Gs.
Yeah.
It's fresh.
I know. And like, throw a head unit in it, and you have Bluetooth.
Well,
there, you're done,
we did a film. This guy, there's a thing called the Nevada Trophy.
Okay.
Which is like what do they call it? Like geocaching, geocaching thing. It's that in cars. Okay.
Oh, sweet.
And the game, the field of play is very big. It's like all of northern Nevada, right? And so this dude's got a G Wagen, and it's like an 03 or 04. I did a video of it, and it's lifted on like off-road shocks. It's got like a 2 or 3 inch lift, big 37s, small. It's got the stock 16-inch wheels from like 05, the basic G500 wheels, and big tires on them, and the thing drove great. Yeah. It was great. And he built these cabinets in the back of it. It was like super, super cool.
Yeah.
But he was into the truck for like 34 grand.
Yeah.
Not 180.
Well, that's the thing. Like I said, I read that article recently where someone was saying they were trying to run the math on the numbers they could find, and they were saying that by far the G Wagen was Mercedes-Benz's most profitable vehicle.
Fuck yeah, they paid off the tooling during the Reagan administration.
Exactly.
They've been building these things since the 70s.
I know, and like nothing's really changed. So it's I don't know. I
What's
just
that
can't.
company?
People kept asking us during the show. They're like, "Well, are they going to discontinue it? Like, what's going to happen?" Well, first of all, I don't work for Mercedes, so I don't know. But I can't imagine they would because they make so much money on these things.
And I think they sell perfectly.
They're also licensed by
Everybody
other
buys them.
companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for them to do that, and it's a totally ubiquitous vehicle. Like, if you see one, you know what it is.
Have you seen, is it Matador? Is that what it's called, Tim? The backdating company?
I don't know.
Look up Matador G-Wagon. I think that's what it is. They take brand new G-Wagons and they backdate them to look like, older, slimmer body
military
ones. Not necessarily military, but I don't know about this Google image search. But if you go to their website, Tim, just to their main website, you can probably find it. I think this is. I think this is their thing. They do like the plaid interiors and they simplify they de-AMG them a bit.
Yeah.
I think that's the name of the company. Someone's gonna fuck me. The website seems to be fucked. Oh well.
Someone's gonna be like, "God damn it."
Website is down. I think my animosity is because they're such capable vehicles off road, but I see them here just running to Whole Foods and back. All the stereotypes of who drives them here are true.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so that's a brand new truck.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
it's been backdated to look like, late 70s, early 80s
See,
kind of
that's
thing.
what they're supposed to be like.
Yeah.
And then, over the years, they just got... Because the whole story, the Shah of Iran was like, hey, can you build me a custom, like, super nice G-Wagon? And Mercedes said no. And then he just threw money at them until they did it. And
It's like Schwarzenegger in the Hummer.
Yep.
Yeah. And then it just ultimately turned into, like, more and more people going, well, we'll buy one of those. And honestly, I think it's 3% every year.
Yeah, they for inflation.
Automatically for inflation, they raise the price of the G-Wagon every single year, just automatically.
Yeah.
And so it's
whatever people are willing to pay.
Yeah.
And the people are stupid.
people keep paying the shit.
It's so
it's
dumb.
crazy.
And I know in the U.S. it's like 80% of them or something are AMGs too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's something
yeah.
crazy.
Retarded.
Yeah, everybody that gets in the truck. Well, how come you get? Is this the G63? No.
Why
Why not? What, is this one not cool enough for you? Like,
My favorite thing is that they made the 65, which is slower.
Oh my god.
And it's more expensive, and then it's slower.
It's so bad.
that thing is
It's so ridiculous.
It doesn't sound right. Like the sound of the motor doesn't fit the look of the car.
I will give you that the 63 sounds boss.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 550 sounds really good too. I think for I mean the four
Mercedes V8 sound very good.
Yeah.
It sounds appropriate for that vehicle.
Yeah.
I think Mercedes does a really good job being German, but still being. They kind of have that mentality of like, well, why not? I like that. I like companies that do that. Where they think like, well, let's just make this thing and sell it for the street. Like, why not? There's a lot of that. I think
there's
kind
a
of like
playfulness
that hot
to
rod.
them, like the side pipes on it because they can't fit them down the frame because
I bent
of the
them on
engine.
my G63 press car.
Oh,
yeah, I took it wheeling. I bent them.
What a surprise! Who would think it would go wheeling? Oh my god!
I was good at it actually,
Yeah.
even with the street tires. You know where I drove? You been to Willow Springs?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
the
a lot.
mountain up behind Willow Springs?
Oh, you just drove up.
I drove off the track, took my fucking helmet off, and drove straight up that mountain.
Nice.
It was really cool. Zach got on a drone. It looked dope.
Yeah.
And I was pretty impressed.
Yeah.
But I bent the side pipe.
They are impressive trucks, but yeah, like you said, Zach, it's really it is frustrating how many of them just spend time. I bet 99% of them that are here in LA never even see dirt.
No.
Yeah.
No,
You know, I mean,
definitely
no.
not.
I bet
When
they
they
don't
see
even see
dirt,
grass.
they get washed immediately.
Yeah, yeah. That's,
I want to
my
go
God, this
wheeling
is my
soon.
dream
We got
car.
great trails around here.
Oh, yeah.
We got a lot of
good
desert.
stuff.
Desert's
Dude, you guys,
awesome.
I did some cool stuff back home, so it's weird for me because I lived here for a little bit. So I got
Home,
to do some
Montana,
of it.
for those who don't know home.
Yeah, by the way, so I'm from Montana. You know, one of those the middle states.
Montana's a good middle state, though.
It is, man. I'm a fan. Don't tell people.
It's okay. There's a lot
Anyway,
of
yeah,
it.
I know the words. Yeah, the word's already out. But no, we've got some cool stuff up there, and I work with a company in Bozeman called Dark Horse Customs, and they build like amazing rigs. And I got to go up with some of those guys at some point. I really want to go with the owner. He's got this badass Jeep. I think it's a YJ that he built up, and it's basically a rock buggy. And they just disappear into the woods, and like it's just bonkers the stuff they find up there, you know. And
Well,
You've seen
did
the
they
rock-
build your engine for your drift car? Or?
yeah, they built my drift car. So
Oh, okay.
They,
but they primarily do off road.
yeah, they do.
Because that's
They
like,
do-
look, muscle cars are coming up when Tim, what are they called?
Dark Horse Customs. It's
Huh.
2 words.
2 words?
Yeah. Dark Horse Customs LLC.
I bet there's a few combinations
they
of
do
dark
some
and
mixed-
horse.
Yeah, there's a handful. You
Oh,
could
there you go.
probably-
Bottom right, Timmy. There's a beast-looking Jeep. Is that it?
That looks like it.
That's a
that's
badass
Scott.
fucking
That's
Jeep
Scott, the
right
owner
there.
right there. So that's
Jeez.
his Jeep.
Oh,
And
I like
thing-
that.
Maybe that might be Tiola. I can't see who that
That's
is.
he's got a big tube frame under that body.
For
Yeah.
people listening, the front tires are sticking out past the front bumper, basically.
Yeah.
They're so
I
big.
mean,
What are
it's
those,
a-
like
Jeez.
44s maybe?
I would guess they're 40s. I really have no idea.
That's a fucking bad
37s.
Jeep, man.
Yeah, but that's the kind of stuff they build. And
Cool.
so they build that stuff, and they also build. They've done some really, really neat like resto projects. They did. Oh, you got to look up the Power Wagon if you could find it. That thing was amazing. But they did this old school Power Wagon that was all redone. They've been doing FJ40s, like for people at the Yellowstone Club that just money's like whatever.
Oh,
they've
is
been-
that it?
No,
Oh,
that's
the-
not it. But that's what one of the ones that. they
Wait, go
built.
back. There was a
Pretty cool.
quad cab, Tim, 2 to the right. That thing?
There's a big jacked up. Yeah, that's very similar to what
Power
they're doing.
wagons are kick ass.
They
Look
are
at that.
sweet.
That is
Yeah.
a cool truck, man.
Yeah.
You know who Icon is getting about these?
Yep.
They're doing the later than that, like the 60s ones.
Yeah, they're sweet.
That's
man.
really
Every
cool
time
looking.
John
Yeah.
Ward comes by here, he brings some fucking $500,000 thing that's like hidden in plain sight.
Yeah.
It's like I brought a mail truck, $500,000.
So that Sunset GT thing I was just at too. There was a white Singer 911 there, invisible, surrounded by Skittles colors Lamborghinis at 144-month finances, and then this thing was there. It is absolutely invisible. Although I of course I took the picture when the guy was leaving, so there were people around it. But fuck, those cars are pretty.
Yeah.
Well, their Instagram is always filled with like their most brightly colored, and they're very
Yeah.
interesting, and
The
they do a really
Brighton
good
Commission.
job. Right.
The East Hampton Commission. I like the commission thing.
It's like the Seattle customer, and
Right.
It's gray. It was. They had one that was called like Seattle Delivery, but it was gray.
gray with a flannel interior. It's like the Seattle
Oh, man.
Commission. Dark Horse Customs, plug for them. That place seems cool.
The floor
Yeah,
is
for
made
real
of
though, they
pure-
are pretty awesome. And so they built my drift car. They'd never done anything like that, and they tackled it and just killed it. Like they're just fabricators. They're car guys. They do all kinds of stuff, and they do all kinds of stuff. So we'll have to get together with them and go play with some of their.
I want to
rigs.
come to Montana.
Dude, we'll
How
go do
we
some
do
off-road
that?
stuff. My best friend owns the drag strip, so I get to go up and test up at his place, and we can.
I was wondering how you do that so often.
Yeah, dude, I have a key. Like he was nice. He
that's
just gave me a
helpful.
key, and he's like, "Well, don't kill yourself, because then it looks bad on me." And
Did they have to move any suspension points at all when they built your car, or was it just plug in?
We kept it the same. It's a Pro-Am
You still
level
is
car.
still the 240?
Yeah, dude.
The yellow 240?
No, I got rid of that one several years ago.
TJ had a sick 240. I wonder if you Google TJ Fry yellow 240, you may actually get it, right?
Don't put an E in my name, damn it, Timothy.
It's not like
There's no silent letters in my name.
you cannot Google the word fry because you get fucking
Maybe do put an E in my
10,000
name. That might work better.
10,000 plates of French fries.
Oh God, that joke.
That sucks. It must have a name that's tough to Google like that.
I mean, it's not the greatest.
TJ Fry, I bet you taste delicious.
Isn't that it on the top? The yellow one?
No, those are a couple other guys.
Oh,
but
that's a cool. I missed your 240. That 240 was awesome.
We have that car actually. Well, we have basically that car. So my wife had one as well, and we took the motor and built this car in 35 days. Roll cage, interior, like stereo system, paint, everything, and we did it together. And so we took the heart of my car and put it in hers, and so now we have that car. And that car that's a freaking riot. It's basically 400 horsepower at the wheels out of the little SR20, and everybody, it's going to blow up at some point. Like, well, no, it's built for like 800 or 900, but we only run 400 out of it. So it's dead nuts reliable. She drives it every day. We have, heat and going to put air conditioning in it.
That's her daily driver car?
One of them. She has another hatchback 240. She has an 89 that's we bought from an old lady that is fully stock. She bought it brand new in 1988 as an 89 model.
It's just got a handbrake extension in it.
It doesn't have anything. It literally it's an automatic. We haven't changed it. Like we went to a show back home called Zip Tie Club, which is like all the import guys that get together, because Montana is very much like, well, if it ain't American, you ain't a man. So the Zip Tie Club is like all the people that are into that, that are not into that. They have all the imports. So
it's like 8 dudes.
Yeah. Well, like, at least like 12. Anyway, so we get all of us together and they have this big show, and I bring out my Pro-Am car, which is the Skid Demon. So it's the V8 LS 240, right? Nothing special. But I bring that thing out, and then we bring out my wife's street car, which has a cage, but it's kind of like just a fun car. And then we bring out the totally stock 100% never touched old lady 240.
Yeah, and that wins a trophy.
Well, no, my wife's car. Yeah, but everybody, they saw that and they're like, "Oh my God, I've never seen one that's never been molested before." Like it's that one is actually cooler than the other ones.
One of our vets, we have one of our cats is sick, and one of the vets has a 380,000 mile 240 that he bought himself new as a graduation present from veterinary school in 1995.
Whoa!
He's been driving it ever since.
Yeah,
is it clean? Is it nice?
It's fresh.
380. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
one clutch.
Cool.
I think we're like 250 or something. I know that photo's on my Instagram way down, but you can see there's a picture of my car doing the burnout contest, which by the way, I challenge anyone except
Australians.
Yeah, I won't challenge the Australians. But, no, I've won like 5 back-to-back.
What's the secret of winning?
Yeah, how do you win a burnout contest?
Honestly,
varying speed levels for noise. Like you don't just go full throttle and just roast tires.
So it depends on the venue, because if a venue says like, all right, well, you have to, like in Vegas they had this big metal plate and they said you can't leave the metal plate because we don't want you to ruin the asphalt. So at that point you're basically like, all right, I got to go for smoke. So I was just third gear, pin it, and like just keep it going. I did a 1 minute and 58 second burnout, and I literally couldn't see the gauges in the car. I couldn't breathe, and I was like, I can't. Yeah, there's the Skid Demon. So that's mine.
You have line lock?
What do you go until you blow the tires?
I tried, but I couldn't. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to stop and get out of it. It was so bad. That was on Street Tour in Vegas.
That was on a line lock?
No, I don't have a line lock. I just stand on the brake.
Stand it?
Yeah.
So did your rear brakes catch on fire too?
No, they didn't catch on fire, but they were hot.
You need a respirator in your helmet.
I really do. But honestly,
is that your wife up there?
Yeah.
Is that fine looking woman? That was your wife?
I don't know. Who was I?
The blonde?
With? Yeah. That was when we were on
TJ.
TV, man. Yeah, I don't know. I married up.
Your hair is also going upwards.
Also, did you just learn that she had sex with a gorilla or something? What is that face?
But he's not mad about it. He's just like, how'd it work, bro?
I'm not even mad. I'm impressed.
Were you auditioning for Bill and Ted 3?
Dude, we were on HGTV. We did a pilot for this show called Montana Home or something.
Spicoli goes to the military. Take one.
Is that one of those shows that was like, why would people ever live in Montana? Montana?
Yeah.
We're going to show you.
Kind of. But the thing was, it was like, it was one of those shows where they, oh, well, my wife, draws butterflies for a living and I sell cars and our budget is $3 million. And so, the first thing they tell us, they're like, so what do you do for a living? I'm like, well, I'm a professional driver. And they're like, well, we can't say that because no one's going to know what it is. So you're a race car driver. I'm like, cool. So you totally just changed my background, but all right, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then they said, all right, well, what's your budget? And we've been looking. And so we told them, we're like, well, we're looking like 220, somewhere that we want to be able to still travel and whatever. We're not going to go crazy. And they're like, sweet. Okay. That's cool. How would you feel about saying like 5, 6, 7?
Yeah.
And we're like, well,
how about we punch this up a little bit?
Yeah. So ultimately, it was actually a really cool experience. But yeah, we were on TV for that, and I don't know. We've been. Montana's,
Did you buy the house, TJ?
It is a beautiful house, and I would suggest you watch the show.
Oh, you can't give it away.
Yeah,
you can't drop the bomb.
There's a contract there somewhere that might. Yeah, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but
whatever. That's okay. I watched some shit on the airplane recently that was like best coastal living or something, and it was basically that. It was like house hunters for oceanfront properties.
That's what it was for us.
Guy was like, I'm a school teacher and I want to live on oceanfront in California. It's like, good fucking luck,
good
homie.
luck. Yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, no kidding. So I saw something recently about you that I have no idea where this just came from. You can still lace up a pair of sneakers in like
real
60
fast.
seconds?
Yeah, I can.
Where the hell did that talent come from?
I worked at Foot Locker for like 6 years.
Really?
Yeah. No, that's
didn't know
just
that.
practice. There's no talent. That's just I laced a lot of fucking shoes. I worked at Foot Locker when I was 14 until I was 21.
I think it's better that you say that it's practice, not talent, because it'd be a very weird thing. But like, I just always had this crazy ability to just find this hole with the thread and just nail it.
No, I just laced a lot of shoes.
That's such. It's so funny when you meet somebody and then all of a sudden you think you know them, and then they're like, by the way, I've got this really obscure talent.
It's a weird talent.
Yeah.
You want me to unlace and lace my
I
fucking
would
shoe?
love to see you
I'll
lace
do it.
your shoe.
Oh my God, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Look. Oh, by the way, I decided yesterday I'm gonna try and be a sock guy. So I'm wearing fun socks.
Oh, you're wearing fun socks?
The first time ever.
I have.
All right, hang on. You got to give me a minute to unlace
all
the
right.
shoe.
I have
We're
2
actually
sock
doing it.
moves.
Carry
I
on.
have fun socks, but most of the time I have socks that don't match because they're under my pants and I don't care.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I wear the ankle
black
socks
socks.
because they're black
Yeah.
socks. Right. I remember I used to wear white socks, and at some point I saw someone on Facebook say something like, "Well, if you're still wearing white socks in 2014, like you're just an idiot."
Yo, fuck that. I have white socks.
And now I wear black socks.
I wear New Balances and white socks. Fuck you.
If you care about your socks that are under pants, you are an idiot.
I
Doesn't
kind of
really
don't
matter.
really care. But why am I blanking on the name? The guys that do like the new shirt design every day, the car
Blip shift.
Blip
Flip
shift?
shift. Yeah, so they made socks, and I have a couple of their pairs of socks with like the boxer design on it and stuff, and like it's really cool because you look at them and you're like, oh, those are normal like dress socks, but they're
Yeah,
car
but they're a little
socks.
fun.
Like I like that.
Oh, I have like a tie that if you step back, it looks like polka dots, and if you get close, it's like her shift knobs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I
All
like
right,
little
you wanna
things
see me
like
lace
that.
up the
Yeah,
one?
yeah, I do, but I want to.
You want to time it?
Yeah, I want to time it. Here we go.
So in the claim it was Jordans, and in the competition it was Jordans.
Okay.
Is anyone wearing
Whoa, wait.
Jordans by any chance? I'll do Jordans.
What was the competition? Where was this competition?
The point of it wasn't just the shoes. So at Foot Locker, there were like competitions in the store for like doing store related tasks, such as lacing shoes or folding shirts or whatever.
Clean the bathroom the fastest.
It was display setup stuff,
Yeah.
And like if you won the competitions, like you could get choices for shifts, or you could get like other little bullshit.
kind of a good idea.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And so like I got kind of good at the contests. Like I could fold shirts fast as fuck. Like I have a folding board like you'd find in a Foot Locker at my house.
Because they work. I did
Dude,
that for
it's so
Oakley.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still can use a folder to fold
Once
a
you use
t-shirt.
a
It's
folding
awesome.
board, you
Yeah.
have to have one at your house. It makes
Yeah.
your life so much easier.
The only way I found that I liked even better was like there's a Japanese way to fold shirts where you grab like the corners just right and you just flip it over and it's done. And I'm like, how Japanese is that?
Yeah.
Like I just lay it out and just bam, done.
Yeah, you got to go work at Muji for a couple of years, and they teach you that method. At Foot
Yeah.
Locker, they use the board.
The board. I like
Yeah.
the board too.
All right, so you don't start with the lace out of the shoe. They come like this.
Are you're gonna instruct me on how to? Okay,
No,
gotcha.
I'm just
All right.
saying that like they come with the lace like in the first the deal.
Okay,
That's all.
so they give you a head start.
That's all. Okay, you say go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. This shit's suede. Oh, sorry, I hit the mic.
Ooh, and Matthew Ferret chose to go into the thread on the right side of the shoe, not the left.
I choose the starboard side first.
Ooh, he's doing one lace all at once instead of switching back and forth.
I do not go back and forth. I do it one lace
technique.
at a time. I'm catching some resistance on the suede itself.
Oh, he's on to the second lace.
Oh, no.
Second lace. It saves the time of switching hands back and forth. So now he just focuses on one hand.
You do one hand both.
Rather impressive. He's approaching 30 seconds.
You do one hand both.
Brought to you by Gatorade.
Powerade.
You got to tell me when you're done because I don't know how it works.
Finished.
That's
Done.
finished.
37 seconds exactly.
37 seconds.
All right.
So I
Okay.
said I could do a Jordan in under 60, and I could do a Puma in 37.
That's pretty
Is
impressive.
it Jordan more difficult because it's got the curve?
because the laces
on the high
are
top?
inside. Like they don't have
That's right.
the lace doesn't go like through and out. Like they have like tabs that go in. So it's actually Jordans are tough to
You got
lace.
to hook it in there.
Yeah.
It's just funny to
there
me
you
how
go, man.
some random. Thanks for doing that. It just makes me laugh like how
We
random
can
things
mark
are.
that timestamp for an Instagram promo. People on Instagram were demanding that I lace my shoe. 41. Yeah, can do it.
Yeah.
What about Jeff? Do you have a weird talent
Yeah,
you would
come
like
on.
to demonstrate? We can turn this bitch into a talent show.
Weird talent. I have no weird talents.
None?
I'm trying to think of one.
You could balance a G Wagen on a seesaw.
That is kind of a bizarre talent. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Kind of a bizarre talent, but no weird talents, no. My elbows, it's not really a talent, but my elbow folds
Yeah,
back.
tell him about your. He's got what he calls
Boy,
a
that bit-
positive ape index.
So my wingspan is wider than I
wider
am tall.
than. Oh.
So 72-inch.
Is that an official
wingspan.
term?
Yeah, you can Google it.
He's
That's what I had to do when somebody first told me.
Joe Rogan would talk about this, I'm sure. I've listened to a few episodes where he'll be like, "Oh no, this
Let's
fighter's
go down
got a
this
positive
rabbit hole."
ape index."
Yeah.
Positive ape index.
And what's the other way? Negative ape index?
I guess you can be neutral, so you can have
Even.
yeah, and then you can be negative,
There's
like a
probably
T-Rex.
there's probably some.
He's
You
like
know?
the shortest, whitest NBA player ever.
It was really difficult, like in the military when I had to do pull-ups because my arm's really long and I'm kind of stocky, so
Yeah.
it's like pulling a lot of weight a long distance to get my chin up over the bar.
So you have really long arms for the size of your torso.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a really short torso, short legs, but long arms.
Isn't that a
So
weird
you
thing
actually
to
probably
say?
have a really.
Yeah.
Do you have
I've
a
never
strange
heard that
driving position?
Yeah.
Do you sit close and then lean
so
back?
I can.
Yeah, I hate getting in his truck.
It's got to be weird, right?
So
Yeah.
I have a customer who is 6-something.
Uh-huh.
I never need to adjust his seat because for some reason his arms are my same length, so I can just grab the steering wheel and I'll just tippy toe the pedals.
Oh, I was gonna say. That's
yeah.
hilarious.
It's weird. His car, because he has his BMW that I always drive, and I just jump in and I can drive it, no problem. Don't even need to adjust the seat. Mirrors, kind of, I gotta like pick my head up, but
But does that mean if you want your optimal seating position, then you have to get really close so your legs have the right amount of reach, but then your arms are too folded up?
yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah.
It gets tricky.
For those who don't
Have to
know
have-
it, do you want to talk about CJ? Do you want to instruct some driving, some
Yeah,
seating
yeah,
position?
we could do that.
Instruct us. How do you
good
set up
God.
a seating position for performance driving?
Basically, make sure you can see stuff and be comfortable. I mean, that's
Oh,
the
that's
easiest
whack.
way to put
Come on.
it. But all right, so usually what you want to do, you want to have your seat upright, none of the leaning like a cholo thing. That's not a great way to drive a car. But you do really want to have about a 30 to 45 degree angle in your elbows when you have your hands on the wheel at 9 and 3. Don't listen to those people that tell you 10 and 2. Those are called communists. Anyway, 9 and 3, hands on the wheel, and then you want to have a little bit of a break in your arm so that you can actually have the ability to reach everything. But you also don't want to be too close. If you can't get your hands over the wheel in an arm lock, because you're too close or that's difficult at all, you're bumping stuff, you need to move a little bit further away.
Tell your moms that one, everyone.
Yeah. Also, I think my biggest pet peeve with people's steering techniques is what I like to call the chick grip. Or the hook grip, when people are like sitting to wait, make a turn, and they put their hand through the steering wheel like that, and it's basically where like you have your fingernails facing yourself on the top of the steering wheel, and so you basically it's like you're checking out a manicure you just got. That's why I call it the chick grip. Point being, it is the worst thing you can do to drive a car because you have like no control. You can't turn the wheel more than like a third either direction.
It's like all you can do is turn the wheel 90 degrees to make that turn. But if anything goes wrong,
and the worst part about it is if you get hit and like that airbag goes off, your hand doesn't bend that way, man. Like if you can look up stuff, well, maybe don't. But you can see like if the top of your fingers were to hit the back of the top of your arm, like it's gonna be a bad day.
And you're gonna punch yourself in the face also with your wrist.
Yeah, with the butt of your hand. Like, so I constantly tell people not to do that. It drives me nuts. So there's okay, so try not to drive less like an ape, really. is what we're looking at in that photo.
The guy we're looking at a photo of good and bad. The guy on the left is driving like he's 1,000 years old.
Yeah, or has
scoliosis.
He has, or like I just noticed you guys in California you can't drive with phones, right? Well, back home in Montana, we don't have that law. So
you don't have people.
Whatever. Yeah, we really don't. So, we literally have more cows than people.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've noticed people now have figured out that they can still use their phones while driving. You just have to put it on the steering wheel in front of you so no one can actually see it. So if you have sunglasses on, it looks like you're still looking at the road, but you're looking at the phone. I have seen no less than like 10 people do this on the road, and it's amazing to me. Like, are you that dedicated to Instagram?
Those are the people that are kind of keeping it neat and tidy, because I see plenty of people at lights that are doing the ape neck, looking down at their lap, and they miss a light. And they're just
if
fully
you really
engaged.
want to be scared, ride around LA on a motorcycle.
Hell no.
Because you'll be hypo. That's what I'm doing all day today.
I'm scared in a G Wagen, bro.
Yeah, no, all day LA motorcycle, and you will see some horrifying inattentiveness.
Yeah, I'm good.
But I don't want to defend those people.
I know, I don't either.
However, I can see their side because I've sat in that traffic.
Yeah, well,
the LA light to light, straight lines, go a couple hundred yards, stop.
Yeah.
Go a couple hundred yards, stop. Go a couple hundred yards, stop. Like,
I get it.
It's pretty easy to get away with fucking reading your emails while driving like that.
I agree, but I will also say that where I'm from, we don't measure things by distance, you measure it by time. Because,
yes.
Right? So, for example, if I say I got to drive 2 hours from where I live, that means I'm probably going to Bozeman. So, if I'm going to Bozeman, it's just highway. You get on the highway, we have an 80-mile-an-hour speed limit and a law that says you can't have your insurance rates raised if you get a ticket for 10 miles an hour over the speed limit or less. So everyone does 90 miles an hour.
It's fair.
So you set your speed limit, your cruise control at 89, 90 miles an hour, and you just roll. And there's nothing out there. You're not going to hit anything. Like the only thing that might happen if I'm looking at my phone and drive, not that I do, but if I'm looking at my phone and I'm driving on the highway, like the only thing I'm going to do is like hit a rumble strip or a deer. And at that point it's like, well, I didn't hit like oncoming traffic. There's nothing there. So on the flip side, you have people that there's like nothing to hit. And so they just do it. Whereas here, there's like a lot of stuff to hit, but you're not really moving.
Right. Yeah, if you go somewhere in between, Colorado requires negotiation of roads.
Yeah.
And also a medium amount of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. LA, people jokingly refer to LA as Idiot Island, and that is a well-earned nickname.
I haven't heard that, but I like it.
It's a good one. People are pretty fucking terrible and inattentive here, but I understand their plight because this is a shitty place to be stuck in a car for a couple hours a day.
Every single day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how people do it, man. We did it. We were in traffic for like 45 minutes yesterday, and I just wanted to gouge my eyes out. Like it's terrible.
Well, in LA, you find your little circle. You like where I live in Venice. Like if I'm not going to the airport or the mountains or like far away, like I'm walking. You know what I mean? So that's how a lot of us do.
That's why there's all these like cookie cutter communities. Like right down the street, we have a shopping area, apartments, Whole Foods, movie theater type thing. And if you go
exactly like what they make fun of in South Park.
Completely, that's exactly it. And if you go 1.5 miles northwest, there's another one of those, and another one of those, and another one. It's all the things that you quote need, and just don't leave because you don't want to.
That's so nuts to me.
But it's weird. But sunshine's free and weed's legal, man.
I know. It's pretty. I get it.
Even with the traffic, the 325 days a year. 330 days a year of straight sunshine.
It's
pretty awesome.
Yeah. No, I get it. And
San Diego, I just know the times of traffic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's just after 10 o'clock, there's no traffic till about 3 o'clock. So that's when, if I have to drive anywhere, that's the time I'm
If you don't want to work in entertainment and you want to have all the sun, live in San Diego, it's way better.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's great. We've considered San Diego before, but unfortunately work. but
it's
a nice
just
place.
funny because like the priorities are so different. I moved down here. I got a degree in film, and I moved down here, and it was like, I got to drive a production truck and deal with. I've sat in traffic for a lot, and then I go home, and my idea of traffic now is like I walk out of my. We live in a fifth wheel my life, and I live in an RV full time.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Really?
Yeah, for real. It's amazing.
You live in an RV full fucking time.
Yeah.
Does it move?
Well, we haven't yet. So we just moved in September.
Do you live in an RV park?
No. We live right now. We're staying with. So her dad had some extra property, and we just bought it. We've never done this before, so we're like, well, let's try and figure out any problems. So we hunkered down in his backyard. We have all the hookups and everything. And if anything goes wrong, like, whatever, anything goes wrong, we can just stay with them.
Yeah.
Just crash with them. So we're kind of figuring out any issues it might have, but we're going to hit the road this spring and just cruise around. So we might just come down and crash, down here for a while, find a park somewhere and do whatever.
All right.
But my version of traffic these days is I walk out of my trailer and
she's walking in front of you and she's in the way.
yeah, right? Or like I literally I'll trip over a chicken. Like I just like now that I'm used to that, my town is 88 people. There's not even a mail guy. So we get a free post office box because there's no mail delivery because there's not enough people to justify it. So I walk to my post office box, I pick up my mail every few days.
I mean, that's nice, but I like restaurants.
Yeah.
I like restaurants a lot.
But the thing is, like, I love restaurants too, but we're 20 minutes from Billings, which is 100,000 people, so we can go have some decent, good food. And then her family are all hunters, so we eat pretty much strictly venison, elk, and antelope, and like just the most amazing food
pretty
ever.
good. And you have a key to a drag strip. So
I have a key to a drag strip.
I can make that trade. I really could.
Yeah, so it's different. But the other thing too is I get to spend time in cities like LA. Like I get to visit you guys because I'm here working for Mercedes, right? So I get to travel around and I still am like part of civilization. So I really don't fit in anywhere because I come here and everybody's like, oh, what is a country boy? Po dunk pumpkin, whatever. And then I go home and they're like, hey, welcome back, City Slicker. All right, good to see you again. And I'm like, I really don't fit anywhere.
A man without a country.
Yeah.
We have like the reverse life of you. We live in the city and then we travel to the small communities for work.
Yeah.
Like we'll end up in the town of 50 people and be like, what do you do here, man? And it's
the good news is
drunk.
you can everything there is to do in a town of 50 people, you can do in one night.
It's true.
Yeah.
we've Danville out to,
Yeah, you can go to
anywhere
the
near
cool
a racetrack.
spot.
We know all those.
Have you ever shot a potato cannon at trains? Because
No,
I do that in my
sounds
backyard.
great. We've
And it's awesome.
shot potato cannons. Hennessy's got a real good one.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Yeah, John Hennessy, his boys know how to build a potato gun.
It's way too nice.
We've got one that we nicknamed the Tater Hater, and it's brutal. It's got like the big backside on it. It has a little igniter from a barbecue from a grill.
They all have that.
Yeah, they do. But I'm just saying, like it's legit, and that it's probably I don't know. Danny would kill me. I don't know this. It's probably like 4 feet, 5 feet long. And you can launch that thing. It's 100 yards to the railroad tracks, and you can shoot them over the trains. It's pretty wild, yeah.
You sound like Tommy Boy. That's what you sound like right now.
I was just checking the specs on the rotary girder.
Wow, is that a potato bazooka?
Yeah,
Tim,
look at that
Tim,
thing.
look at this fucking thing.
That's okay. That's cooler than mine.
That guy. Now, also, I mean, well, is that a woman? It might be a woman with short hair. I can't tell from all the way on the other side of this table, but that's a fucking potato gun right
That's
there.
awesome.
But that person also
Yeah.
seems to have an AR-15 open carry in the front. So it's like
Maybe it's a real
It's-
bazooka.
No, that's a grape gun. It shoots frozen grapes out the front.
Might
of it.
be.
It's a produce.
Is that a real thing?
No.
It could be. People make anything look tactical these days.
I bet you.
Oh my
I've
god,
seen-
that has a scope.
That is wow.
Is that a fucking potato gun or?
I think it's a potato gun.
And also, is that a man or a woman? I guess it's no. That's a man.
Gotta
That's
be a
man,
guy.
yeah.
Those are some feminine glasses, though. To be honest,
It's got gentle features.
Those are the glasses I wore while pretending to be Biggie Smalls from 1996.
By the way,
Radwood.
hilarious. So I saw Sarah Trimble. I met her the other night.
Oh, yeah.
and she was telling us about your costume and all that. How
Yeah.
you're like, well, I'm
The
only
real
calling you
Coogee
guys
sweater?
these things because it's period correct, and I want to make sure that just so it's clear, I don't actually think of you ladies as less than people, but in the 90s you were considered bitches. Yeah. So I have to call you that because it's period correct.
Oh yeah,
That's why they don't do 50s car shows anymore.
yeah.
Yeah. Mad
No,
Men's
yeah.
not a thing.
I was calling them hoes, but in period,
In
in character as Big. They were my hose.
Oh, that was funny.
That sweater, though, I'm going to keep it.
I think you
was
should.
gonna have to
I
sell
saw
it,
that
but-
picture. It's great.
Coogie's making a
What car did you take?
We took 4 cars. We took all my cars. They all fit. They all go. The Lexus, the Mercedes, the Porsche, and the...
Because the Lexus is
there's-
perfect.
Oh, Hannah will love that. This was at my birthday party the night
Yes.
before, which
Oh,
was
God.
themed, and that's Hannah fully committing to the Lil' Kim outfit.
Yeah, I can see why you ringed that one up.
Yeah. You could actually see the ice in that picture from across the fucking thing. And I'm wearing the replica Jesus piece, which is really fucking...
Which looked pretty legit.
The Jesus
Pretty
piece.
funny.
I'm so... Hannah, I had to ask her 3 times to post that picture. I was like, you sure you want that on the internet? She's like, it's funny. All right.
Okay.
God, but I'm keeping the sweater because
I think that's a great sweater.
Follow me on Instagram if you want to see all that fun shit in real time.
I love doing. Well, I hate to call it dress up, but like cosplay
Costume parties?
Yeah. Oh my god, they're the
best.
Oh, the best.
We used to do so back home. There was a roller derby. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
we would go to roller derby, and like each night was like, oh, tonight's 50s night, tonight's sports night, tonight's 80s night.
Roller
whatever.
derby is fun as shit to watch. Isn't
Oh
it?
my god, yeah,
Brutal.
those girls are aggressive.
Yeah, they're really mean.
I like it. Like I don't want to play with them.
You don't, and I'll tell you what you really don't want to do. You don't want to break up with a girl that plays roller derby.
Hell no.
I can tell you that from personal experience.
Oh, all right.
Dated a girl, Black Star heroine, roller derby. The whole team gets real mad at you, and they just practice fucking each other up all day. They want to fight. There's a whole team of really angry women that wants to fight, and I have seen in roller. Were you with me when Tracy got hurt? Fuck, I have seen some brutal, like really, really gruesome injuries in roller derby. Ankles just snapping, fucking arms shattering. That's a dirty sport.
It
man.
really is, man. I have a lot of respect for the women that play that sport because it's like women don't like cat fights are some of the most brutal things you'll ever seen. And like,
These aren't cat fights.
No,
That's
I know that, but
hard
I'm saying,
hitting
like,
fucking
women in general
It's
when
like
they
rugby.
fight hard. Like if you and I get in a tussle, like you're gonna deck each other a couple times. Like, all right, man, let's hug it out. It'll be all right. Whatever. It's not. I'm not trying to kill you.
We have a lot more outlets, so maybe it just builds up like a volcano.
But it's just amazing. You see two chicks fight is like the most amazing thing.
When you start pulling up pictures of roller derby, it's. I mean, roller
We've gone a
derby's-
little off the rails here. I like this.
Talking about roller derby. Roller derby's fucking crazy. There's 2 kinds of roller derby: bank track and flat track. Most people think of bank track, but flat track's actually much more common.
I think flat track is great. We used to pay the extra like $2 for the. That's how awesome it is. We'd pay the extra $2 for the seats on the exit of the corner, so they'd all
so they just
pile shit and
slam on
slide
you?
into you. That was great because then you're standing there and they're like fighting each other, getting to get back up, and I'm trying not to spill my beer. It was awesome.
It is, and also lot fewer lesbians than you think. Still a bunch, but there are plenty of straight girls that do roller derby. It's really like if you're a girl, that we have 98% men listening, but like for the 3 girls that out there, if you want to fuck some shit up, possibly yourself in the process, roller derby is a good way to do it. It's a brutal sport.
And if you want to be financially unstable, buy a race car.
Do you have one of those stickers that says, I used to have money, now I have a race car?
No, I don't because I refuse to acknowledge the truth.
Wait, are you racing that in Pro 2?
No. So I was racing that in the Evergreen Drift Series up in Seattle. Oh. And I did actually, I considered petitioning for my Pro 2 license because I probably could. I mean, the closest Pro-Am series for me to get license is 900 miles away each way. And that's Pro-Am. Like, so I had to drive out for 5 rounds of that.
Where is that?
In Seattle. Fuck. And then there's another one in Canada, but they like even in Seattle they were struggling to get a 16-car field. So it's kind of.
This is why you live in LA, by the way.
Well, yeah, but
one of the arguments for that.
But it's hard to, it's hard. Even when I went over, like I won a round, podiumed a few, did all right. But then
is that how you got all that roller derby money to get front row?
Yeah, I was I was raking it in.
Courtside.
Because you bought a ticket for you and Danny for this front courtside seat, right? So that's $4.
Yeah, no, that's $4 extra on top of the $8 each just to get in, Zach. I was dropping a whole 20.
Jeez.
To get on those seats, my man.
All right, well, now I know you drove 4,500 miles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it was brutal, and I didn't really want to go down the FD road. I think Formula Drift is overall good, but without getting into that, I I'm not really a big fan of the way that the sport is headed with Formula Drift. They're activating is what they're doing. They're hosting a big event so that major marketers can come in and have big activations and do the marketing shit. It's not about the sport anymore. And I don't.
It's fair.
I drift. I love it. That's my thing. And I don't even watch FD. I can't. It just frustrates me.
We talked about this the other day, though. It's completely subjective.
That's true.
Up to judges,
right?
Which kind of takes the competition.
It always gonna be? I mean, I suppose you could have those target shooting things that spin. You could have you have to hit your wing like ding 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 ding.
So my idea,
you drift around, but
long story short, I didn't really want to spend the money to run FD because I want to do other stuff.
It's
and to
real
be competitive, that has to be the only thing you do. Like all the guys that are competitive, that's what they do. I love drifting, but I love cars and driving and doing all the other stuff too. So I didn't want to devote to it. So I still have the car. I'm going to go do some fun events. And dude, you guys should come up, drive the car.
I'd like to, Hannah keeps talking about going to Montana. What's the nearest town to you?
Billings.
What's in Billings?
Well, some of the most amazing. Go to my Instagram.
Where's Big Sky? Can we? You near Big Sky?
Yeah, I have some friends in Big Sky.
That's where I want to go. If I'm going to fucking Montana, I'm
scroll
skiing.
down a little bit. On the right hand side, a little further down, you're going to see a picture of my car on the right there, the middle one of the car.
This one? Middle?
Nope, down there, that one. Pull that one up. That is the Beartooth Highway, which is 45 minutes from where I live. It is, I think. My honest opinion is I think that is the most beautiful road we have in this country.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What's it called? Beartooth Highway?
The Beartooth Highway.
You want, Tim, you want to find some other pictures of the Beartooth Highway for us? I've never heard of the Beartooth Highway, but I'm about it. What makes it so wonderful?
Okay, so it's closed 6 months out of the year, something
really?
like that. 5-6 months out of the year because it's
summer only.
It's one. So there's a town called Red Lodge on one side, which is where the ski resort is, and then it leaves Red Lodge, it goes over the Beartooth Pass into Cook City. And Cook City's in the middle of nowhere. Cook City has one road that comes in and out. One side goes into Yellowstone National Park, which, there it is.
Fuck me, look at that.
It's up on this giant plateau.
That's spectacular.
And you drive over this huge plateau and you look down into all these places. So as you're driving over,
do you run the ridge?
Like yeah.
Look at that. That's fucking nice. How's the tarmac? Good?
It gets fucked up every 3-4 years, so they repave it every 3-4 years. So they're
repaving it. It needs to exist for all this. Wow.
So they're repaving it next summer, so it's going to be awesome.
The quality of light in that photograph is very good.
It's stunning. That is my favorite road that I have driven. Granted, I have not driven
Beartooth Highway,
Stelvio, but it is.
Stelvio's overrated. Stelvio's not that good.
Really?
No, the good one is Sustin Pass.
Okay.
Grimsel Pass and Furka Pass are all just bangers.
Sweet.
Super bangers. But Stelvio, because of how famous it is, and because of the fact that there's actually something on top. That's the other, there's a little village up top with a couple hotels and restaurants and some shops and shit.
Yeah.
But that's the only pass where there's anything on top.
And the shape of the road, I mean, it's basically just crisscross spaghetti. So it's just hairpin turns that are really tight, and then short straightaway and then hairpin turn and short. The best road was the frontage or the early part of Stelvio on the Italian side leading to, the famous pass part. That had nice sweepers and some undulation and going past mountains. But once you get to the main event, it's just and there's RVs and motorcycles and cyclists and cars all at once.
It's hard to enjoy.
It's very pretty, but it's not.
That's like going to the Sun Road in Glacier National Park. It's beautiful. It's carved out of the side of cliffs at times, but it's a national park, and every other
same thing with Yosemite. There. The road through Yosemite is a banger as well, but you got to pick the right time of year. And we went there. Wait, you weren't with us, were you? We did the Panamera Turbo. You were. Mm-hmm. That was in winter, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And then in the summer when we did the drive film there, it was so crowded.
No, because the shape of the road, we were like, someone should do a rally stage here. It was just curvy and trees and mountains. I mean, it was perfect. And then the tunnel that was long and very fast, depending on what car you're driving. It was an amazing.
Allegedly, someone hit 155 in this tunnel in a Panamera Turbo S. Allegedly.
So there was another person with a Panamera.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
So wait, how long is Beartooth Highway?
Oh God, it's probably 20 miles.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's it.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
look at that.
Turn your fucking shit on.
It was off.
Does that mean you have to go to the airport? Is that what that is? 11 o'clock?
It's a half hour.
No, it's
countdown.
a half-hour warning.
Half-hour warning for airport. Okay.
Yeah.
This road's only 20 miles. That's the I was hoping you were going to tell me it was 200 miles.
It might be more than that. But well, that's it's 20
Is that a map
miles
there,
of,
Tim?
like, yeah, it goes from Red Lodge, the southern part of Montana, through Wyoming into
Pull it
Cook
up.
City. So I'm not even 100% sure. Just look how, if you can, on Google, just see how far
Isn't
it is.
this it?
from
Are
Red
we not
Lodge
looking
to
at it
Cook
right
City.
here?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Beartooth All-American Road.
It is honestly a legendary road. It's incredible.
And it connects Red Lodge and what?
Red Lodge and Cook City,
And what's the nearest major city?
Billings.
Fuck. We can, let's pitch a story to someone. Someone's got to pay for that shit.
So yeah,
Real fun. I ain't doing
so
that
I
motherfucker
want
for
to
free.
do this. I told Zach this morning, but what I want to do, and Jeff and I have been talking about it for a while. I want to get some guys together and go do, like, buy $1,000 car or less, and everybody buys their own car, and then just go do like some ridiculous road like this, and then you end up here and you got to find these places and you got to make like a checkpoint run out of it. I think it'd be a trip to do like a 3-day deal like that and just hack the cars up, and who cares?
So
you've had a chance to do a lot of
No,
fun
but
shit.
we've
Yeah,
done
right.
this before. But here's where your plan falls apart for me. I don't want to drive this amazing road in a shitbox. I want to drive that amazing road in a good sports car, and then you take the shitbox like off-roading. Like that's sort of this fucking thing with the gambler that they're doing now. They went from like 5 cars to 10 to 20 to 50 to 100, and now is apparently like 1,000 cars or something.
Yeah,
it's like the fucking Burning Man of shitbox rallies.
Yeah.
Every car show I go to, I see some gambler.
Too many people on that kind of
crazy.
event. That's insane.
No,
Yeah.
I'm with you in terms of like I love killing shitboxes. Don't get me wrong, but like I don't want to drive some amazing road like that in a shitbox. I want
that
to
would
fucking
be-
take your sick your wife's 240 up there.
Yeah, no,
True.
that would be the sort of thing where it'd be like, come up for a few days, and we'll just go play for a day or two.
That's
up
where I
there,
ask
and then we'll
Audi
do
for an
the video.
RS3.
Right.
For that kind of road.
Yeah. See, I don't have that luxury yet, Matthew.
but you have a drift car and you live there.
I know,
So-
and I go up there. By the way, my drift car.
Can we-
the drift
can we
car is
permit
street
that?
legal,
Of course
by the
it
way.
is.
Yeah, because it's Montana.
Well, can we get a permit on that road?
I
And
have
you
a
can drift
permit.
it?
Yeah, I have a permit up there. Like I've already contacted him. I was going to go do a video this fall, but unfortunately it didn't pan out. So I'm going to try to do it either in the spring when they open up. But the thing is, there's so much snow you don't even understand. We got up there. It opened in June. All right, that's how late it stays closed. And they finally cut through, and there's a part of the road where you're literally driving through a 40-foot snowdrift.
That's crazy.
It's
cool.
absurd.
I believe it.
And you're like, I mean, there was a couple guys, snowboarders and skiers, like jumping over it, and you're like, that's dumb.
No, that's awesome.
I mean, it's cool. I used to do that. I skied semi-professionally for a while. I get it, but like, if you screw up, you're not just like falling. You're falling 40 feet to pavement
Yeah,
and
you're
then
dead.
getting hit by a car.
Yeah.
Like, you literally are just stacking danger.
That was
on
always
top
the
of it.
raddest stuff in snowboard and ski videos because
Yeah.
they do the road gaps, but they're the
Guess I'm
people
getting
that they
old.
know how to do it. You know, and you have to be 20.
Sometimes, yeah, and sometimes, yeah, you have to like be like, this is worth me getting fucked up for.
This is when you're the age where you don't think there are consequences because you're like, I don't fall. What are you even talking about? And when I do, it doesn't really hurt.
What do you mean pain?
Oh yeah,
And financial.
I heal in a
destitution?
week. You know, yeah.
I went off a jump snowboarding. Remember the first year I lived in California, went off a jump and the landing hadn't been built yet. And I was like, no, now I understand why there was a red line through that. And I just, as I flew, and then I fell, I don't know, 15, 18 feet to the ground and just tore both my knees up. Done.
Oh man. Yeah.
Got a sweet ride in a snowmobile.
Yeah.
Really
That's the
fun
worst
snowmobile
part.
ride.
That's the worst part when you do something cool and you're like, this is going to be awesome. And
This
then
is-
you're like in the sled on the way down behind some guy.
Going,
getting
"That was
snow
not worth
kicked
it
in
at
your face,
all."
and you're going, that was not awesome. I immediately regret that decision. Yeah.
Oh.
Usually, as you peak in the jump, maybe even earlier is when you start to regret it. You go, nope.
You know, it's
Well,
about
not-
a foot and a
nope.
half after board has left jump takeoff, because then you really get a full expansive view of what's about to happen. You go, huh? Oh,
There it is.
How come,
now I know
how come my
why.
weight's on the back? How come my weight's on the back? Start windmilling.
I went back to skiing for that last year. It's the
Good.
best.
I love both of them.
Poles.
Yeah. I love skiing. I grew up skiing. I'm way better at that than I am at snowboarding. I like boarding, but skiing is just, so everybody in that industry will say that, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people will say, snowboarding is harder to learn but easier to master, which makes sense because it's one of the few things you do in your life where your feet are actually strapped to the same object. So that's kind of a weird thing to get used to. So it's harder to learn. Mm-hmm. And not that it's easy to master, but easier. And then skiing is easier to learn. It's more natural, but it's a lot harder to master. There's way more going on.
Yeah.
So it's they're both cool in their own right. Like I still every now and then I'll swap out with a buddy and go snowboarding, and it's just fun.
It's good to be able to do both. If you can do both, that's awesome. You can just pick your poison.
Yeah.
Well, next time you're out in the winter, Timmy. Instead of taking a break today because they got to go to the airport, we'll just go through to 11:30 and then they can go to the airport. Cool. I would love to do. I'm doing the safari build. That's gonna be my snowmobile, which I'm very excited for.
Yeah.
So we're gonna really try and do some mammoth trips this year.
That'd be awesome.
Should we talk about cars more?
Yeah, maybe a little.
What else is going on in the world? You see the new McLaren that
Yeah.
It looks like it's a full size car that's the Lego set of a car.
I feel like
looks like you went to the Lego version of it and then turned that back into a car.
I feel like to call it the Senna, it should have been gorgeous. It should have been outright just the most beautiful car they've ever
Because he
designed.
was gorgeous.
Because he was a
he's
beautiful
just-
man.
You know, and that looked
I
like
thought it looked like a Viper ran into the back of a 720 that had a body kit on it because the back quarter panel is like really bulbous and round. It looks like a Viper's hood. It's
I
very
think it was
strange.
Drive Tribe put up like the bubble car from, was it like The Simpsons or something?
Oh,
and it
yeah.
like right next to it.
Yeah, I think my favorite car from the LA Auto Show was the Project One. From AMG,
Yeah.
Which is in the. If you want to pull up, we'll plug our friend Johnny Lieberman's Instagram here from Motor Trend.
Yeah, that car is stunning.
The Project One looks like a real car.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like a car that belongs on the road. Like
yeah.
The other two, which on the top of this photograph we have the Aston Martin Valkyrie, and then on the bottom of this photograph is the new McLaren Senna, which I think is hideous looking. They look like, okay, we're making race cars. These are race cars. How close can we get to a prototype racer on the road? Whereas the AMG is sort of like, how do we take our Formula One powertrain and then sort of make it look like a road car?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have to say the Valkyrie I thought was cool. I went over and we were there for the launch of that. It was still the RB001 or whatever.
Yeah.
And knowing that was like Adrian Newey's whole, oh my God, this is my baby, my project. I think it's really cool because you can see all of his experience, his 40 years of aero engineering prowess. You see in that car, and it really is a striking car, but it's not realistic. It
looks like an open wheel car, like the same as the Ford GT. You can look at it and go, all right, if you cut away those silver bridges between the tire and the nose, it's got this lower fascia and this huge gap. Like it looks like an F1 car.
It's an open wheel car where he was like,
where they
I think I can
joined
put
the
some clay
sections
here,
together. Yeah.
and this will make it not open wheel. Yeah,
You take an open wheel car and just put a car cover on it.
yeah, pretty much. Like I stretch it over.
And look, with the McLaren, like, I understand that someone probably put that in a wind tunnel, and that is going to make some insane amount of downforce, and it'll probably be insanely fast. But nobody ever stopped to go, hang on a minute. Is this ugly?
Right.
You know what that looks like to me? That looks like to me all the kids that watched Fast and Furious, the original one, in the theater and wanted all those cars.
Shit, it looks like Han's
grew up
fucking
and had money.
Veilside shit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It looks like a Veilside
It looks like a
RX-7.
Veilside RX-7.
That car was
just
the Veil
I don't
side was
know.
way better than that.
don't know. I don't
but
like
we
that.
don't forget though that McLaren has already made the pretty hypercar. If you like the look of the P1, which I do, like this is
P1 looks shockingly conservative by comparison.
it does. But I'm saying like Mercedes, this is their first step into hypercar land since the CLK GTR. So they were like, what market do we want to approach for our first shot? Probably a broader market. And
I think
McLaren's
they hit
like
the nail on the head because there was a lot of people talking about that car, but I didn't hear a single person get into my. And we put 1,000 people through a day several times, so I didn't hear a single person get in and say like, "Oh yeah, that new Saleen, that S1," which I think is badass. Anytime you're gonna welcome,
Does it look better in pictures? It looked a little disproportionate. I'm sorry. Did it look better in person?
I thought it looked better in person.
It does?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does look
I
better
thought
in
it did.
person. It's still a little bit weird proportionally. There's something about it where it doesn't.
Wait,
I don't.
Is
love
that it right there? S1.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
yeah.
S1.
Yeah. It's
Is
like
that
I
a
said,
real car or is that just a styling buck?
I don't know.
It's hard to tell. I tried to get up close to it to look, but it was hard to see if there's any like underpinnings or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
But
to me,
it's
that
a
looks like a
$100,000 car, mid-engine with 400 horsepower. Like, I mean, I'm glad to
2.5
see
liter.
there's something else there.
buy a Lotus Evora. You ever driven? I drove a Evora 410. Oh, that shit is glorious,
See, but I'm
son.
more excited about that because, like, I don't get to drive the 918s and the P1s, and like those are amazing.
Not if you keep throwing around $2.
Yeah, I really got to start putting those back.
Not if you keep spending your pennies at roller derby, you won't. See, look, there's an Evora.
Yeah, see, that's a problem. And like the Alpha 4C, I think is a really good, like relatively affordable car. Like,
but
That's a better one.
you don't want one.
I'm not saying I
You
want
don't
one.
want
I'm
one.
just, but
no,
my
the
point
the
is,
Evora 410, and now they have this 430 Evora. Oh,
see,
it's
that
so
exciting.
nice.
So what does that cost? What does the Evora run?
So new, I think the 410. There's a 410 and a 430. So 410 I think is around 120 grand new, and the 430 I think you add 10 or 15 to that.
Okay.
And
So what used, like 80?
Huh?
What are they used?
Yeah, you can probably get a 400 used in the 80s.
Okay.
And will be a very, very nice car.
Yeah.
That's what, like, for someone who is upset that the new NSX is what it is and wishes that they built a new old NSX, that's a new old NSX. That's exactly what that car is.
That's awesome.
Everything you want out of a modern old NSX is in that car.
That's the stuff that I get excited about.
You'd love it.
I don't. It's hard for me to watch. I don't even watch Top Gear. I haven't for a long time, and I loved Top Gear for years. But it's just so hard when it's like you're driving stuff that I'm probably never even going to see in person, let alone
come hang out for a week in California. You'll see every car in the first season on this season of Top Gear.
I know what you mean though. Like when something is so expensive, you're like, I'll never touch it. It can just be like either disheartening or like you stop caring.
Yeah,
where it's $100 grand
it's hard for me to get
mid-engine,
invested.
it's cool.
I have more fun watching, like, I still go back every now and then and watch All Cars Go to Heaven.
Oh, thanks.
Like I do, and
glad
I'm
you
not
got
even,
your $6 worth. Keep
Yeah,
watching it.
yeah.
Every view the value of each view goes way down.
I do. I love watching that shit where it's just people having fun with stuff, and it has nothing to do with like the or very little to do with the performance.
Well, Top
of the
Gear
car.
needs a mixture. Top Gear needs the supercars. It needs the beater stuff, and in YouTube now, which is an on-demand world. The numbers don't lie. If I drive a supercar, it does well. It's predictable. It's every time. Whereas, other cars do well too. Like there's a video that went up today that's like a 1995 Corolla with like a fucking 20 valve blacktop swap, and I almost, no insult to the owner of the car, it was lovely, but to me it was like a filler video pretty much. Like, but fucking it's just cruising up there, like really doing well. So you never know.
Yeah. I'm always amazed by stuff that is in reach for everybody, because even if I am able to someday get to a point, like you and like Harris and guys that are fortunate enough to get to drive a lot of that neat stuff, that's awesome. But I like inspiring people. I like when, I got emails this week, I got messages this week on Instagram. People constantly reach out to me like, hey man, how do you drive for a living? Like, how do I do what you do? Like, I just want you to know you're an inspiration. Like, I want to, get into drifting. I want to do this. How do I do it? Whatever. And I try to answer all those, but I like knowing that I'm doing something for that, for people, and it's not about like what cool shit am I. I'm not the Dan Bilzerian of cars. You know what I mean?
I think Dan Bilzerian's the Dan Bilzerian of cars.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know what he is. He's
Today we get blown in a 6x6.
Somebody's got to do it,
True.
Yeah, I don't know.
At that Sunset GT thing, there was that I've never met him, but that Salamandrian guy.
Oh, yeah.
He has one of those G squared, speaking back to G Wagons.
Yeah.
And they sawzalled the roof off it.
Oh, why not?
And he was like, they did it. Someone said they did it for the show. I'm like, oh, did he get a TV show? He's like, no, dude. Like, looked at me like I was crazy. It's like for his YouTube channel. I'm like, how many views does that have to get to justify sawzalling the fucking roof off a G Wagon?
I guess it's a canvas top now.
It's a nothing top. They didn't even finish. It left it on raw dog.
But
Someone said they were going to put a hot tub in the back of that bitch. I don't know. Go fucking figure.
That's insane. Convert it to something eventually. Jeez.
I know what you mean though. Like the cheap cars are more relatable.
Yeah, for a lot of people.
And
it's still amazing to see what a company can do.
Oh,
though,
hell yeah.
outright.
That's why people. That's why people have pictures of Lamborghinis on their walls when they're kids, not Honda Civics.
yeah.
So I mean, like, I get it. I was the same way, man. I had a I had a Lamborghini Countach and a Lamborghini Diablo on my wall growing up.
I actually
Always
just saw
wanted a
Jeff
Lambo.
Zwart, to drop a fucking name, and he was talking about doing Lamborghini's press photos for the Countach and the Diablo. I didn't know he had that gig.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
A gangster gig.
He's had all the good ones.
He's on everything.
Yeah, he's amazing. Jeff is incredible.
He goes to the Cars and Coffee that I go to, and I see him a lot. And he told me the funniest thing he's ever said. Well, last weekend he tried to go, and he went, but he tried to bring his Pikes Peak winning 964, the Valvoline one.
Yeah.
And it broke down on the way, and he had to abandon it on the side of the road. It doesn't have keys. So he took the battery tabs off it, left it on the side of the road, took an Uber back to get his trailer, went and picked it up, brought it fucking back, and then just drove another car. And it's like, imagine like leaving your Pikes Peak winning car like just on the side of the road.
Yeah. It's like
Doesn't have you
With
can't
no
lock
key.
it.
No.
There's no keys.
hopefully no one shows up with a trailer before you.
Right?
Bringatrailer.com. That's
Shit.
Well, there's parts of LA like if you leave a desk, like a broken desk in an alley for 20 minutes, it's gone. Somewhat like trucks drive around and pick up trash to like rebuild, resell, whatever. It's like someone might just go, oh look, pick up a Porsche.
Outside my house.
Yeah.
If you want to get rid of something, you put it right outside my garage door. It's gone in 20. Easy. Old suitcases, fuck, doesn't matter. Furniture, shoes, doesn't matter. Put it outside, gone.
I don't know where it goes.
I do.
They have a 964 Valvoline car. They're just like weighing it for scrap. I don't know, man. The car's really light. It's like 2,500 pounds of
These
aluminum.
911s really should be about 34, 35. Why is this one only 2,300 pounds? I don't know.
Here's your $48.
In Philadelphia, it's $50. I just saw Trading Places.
Oh my God.
How did we get on this? Oh, those hypercars.
Yeah.
So the Mercedes one I think is the prettiest one. Although the Valkyrie for building like an open wheel car, pull that angle, the rear 3/4 angle.
Yeah.
I admit that all three of them are better looking from this angle.
I do not think the Valkyrie's better looking from this angle personally.
I think the
the
Valkyrie's
wheels make it
awesome.
look weird.
Well, all right, the wheels on that car are weird,
And
but
Is
what
that
I
what
like
the production
is that-
wheels are going to look like? They're basically just like flat dish.
I don't know what they're going to
It looks like a dune buggy right now.
They didn't. I can tell you, they did not look like that in person.
They don't. What do they look like in person?
Well, when they launched it, they had like pretty normal wheels on.
Oh,
it, I
really?
thought. Yeah.
They were spoked, weren't they? Just
Yeah.
like a
Just a normal wheel?
Yeah, it
Almost
didn't
kinda
like nothing really stood out because I definitely don't remember seeing that. But what I do love is that you can look at like where you think the driver is sitting and his legs would be. There's nothing. There's just air.
Good point.
And
Yeah.
it's like
Well,
first
don't
of
you
all,
actually it's a Formula
F1.
1 like seat, right?
Yeah.
So his legs are up
yeah,
and his ass is down.
yeah. So you're basically
Sounds like
like
I'm describing something
skimming.
really hot, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
I know. There's a website for that.
I think the
Don't Google that.
Project One's like that too, where you sit with your feet elevated.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's,
like,
it's cool because it's so different. I like that.
It's interesting to look at the different in height for the rear splitters between the Valkyrie and the Project One. Like the Valkyrie has these huge open spaces that seem to go up for like feet.
Well, because I think the Project One is still a car. I think you could
Yeah.
still drive that every day. The other two are totally just toys. They're
Yeah.
just, you have it because it does this one thing extremely well,
Right.
Or because it gets attention and that's what you're into. But the Project One,
I'm not even sure. Is the Senna street legal? Did they say it was street legal?
I don't know.
The other thing about the Senna, I thought they would have done was make it central seating position.
Yeah.
like an F1.
Well, I think
That would've been-
I think that's
There
another
was
thing.
a picture of a mule
Yeah.
with a guy sitting in the middle. It was like a P1, but the guy was sitting in the middle.
Yeah, come
But
on.
that could also
Tesla
be
made their
a,
truck
uh,
center
different
mounted.
car.
Where are you
Yeah,
at,
that's true.
McLaren?
McLaren's doing this like whole new car every year thing, and
Yeah.
so that could be a completely other. That could be 3 years out
You
or
probably have
something.
to change a lot of the tub to do that. Like to change the. I mean, you're changing every
Sure.
system basically, bring
Yeah.
it to the center. So I can see why they didn't just
Tricky.
crank it out.
I don't think actually it would be that intensive. I think they'd have to lengthen the tub because the two seats, the passengers sit behind, and you'd need a longer tub for that. But I don't think there's a because the car is mid-engine. It's not like there's a transmission tunnel through the middle of the tub.
Right, but you have to move. You have to move like the steering over. You have to remold. Like I think getting the tooling to extend a tub and make the molding for the seat in the middle of the sides like.
Well, that's why the
It'd
car's
be-
going to cost $2
Right.
million.
No, exactly. Yeah.
This is not.
They could
nothing
do it.
About
it wouldn't
that.
just be like a
Yeah.
a quick body kit and like a new
Yeah.
badge, like a 620, 650.
I think right now we live in a really cool automotive a time in automotive history. You have car companies building unbelievable stuff like the Valkyrie, like the Project One. You have car companies just going, let's do it. Because everybody else is doing it. There's so much stuff out there. Hypercars are everywhere.
There's
Supercars
so
are
much
everywhere.
money in the world.
Yeah, well,
the
they're just cranking stuff out.
needs more toys.
Yeah, exactly. But it's cool for us to see. And then you have companies like, all right, I have to. I'm not a huge fan of FCA, Fiat Chrysler America, but or Fiat Chrysler Automobiles. I don't even know what they stand for. Point
Automobiles.
being, Dodge does some cool stuff.
They have a good time.
Yeah, and Dodge is very much like the
Hellcat,
Dodge
all the
brothers,
things.
like Hellcat. Let's throw a
The
Hellcat
Dodge
in a
Brothers
Jeep.
ads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they have that fucking Dodge Brothers little Easter egg? Sorry, I'm away from Mike. Didn't they have that Dodge Brothers Easter egg in the Hellcats, like in the ashtray or something? There's like a Dodge Brothers impression or something.
I don't
Or in
know.
the armrests.
I
Something
wouldn't
like
be
that.
surprised. I think that stuff. I like Easter eggs. We do
I
that
feel
a
like they
lot.
have an accountant every year that shows something like the Avengers not selling very well and the Dart was a flop, and some guy's just like, we'll get him next year. It's like, wait, have you seen the fucking Trailhawk?
That was actually a cool picture Tim just pulled up. So this was in the garage at our hotel downtown, and that's one of our G Wagons.
Welcome to Los Angeles.
That's Betty, Black Betty, and
That's racist.
Is it? It's not. Bama Lamb.
This is racist.
Anyway, and it's sitting next to a Model 3. That's the first Model 3 I've seen that's not at an auto show. So they actually built one, by the way. I've seen it. It's real.
That's the one.
Yeah,
And,
they
got one.
built.
It's right there.
You were starting to see them around L.A.
I see. I love them. I think Tesla's awesome. I'm not saying I'm jumping up and down to go get an electric car yet, but I do think they're pretty
Oh,
cool.
where you live, you don't want one.
Well, I know.
Here,
cold and
it makes a
whatnot.
lot of sense. Here,
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. I think they're great.
not as much sense as a scooter, but it makes a lot of sense.
Well,
Yeah, well.
but you said when you're riding around on a scooter here, you got to be afraid of other people driving.
In their Teslas.
Yeah.
I almost got hit by someone in a Tesla the other day. It is what it is. Wasn't the Tesla's fault, or was it?
They were distracted by a door handle not working or something.
Dude, I mean, when I'm on my scooter, I'm at the right height. My head is at approximately, Jeep Grand Cherokee driving position height when I'm on my scooter. And I can see into the back window of a Tesla, and I can see people fucking with that giant tablet, dude.
Yeah.
Just operating a huge touchscreen computer while driving.
If you can get people to ignore the technology in that damn thing and just drive the car,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
I was thinking about this while I was on my scooter on the way over here, behind this Tesla actually, that I think for a lot of people, and I had lunch with my attorney yesterday who drives a Tesla, and he's not into cars at all, and he said it feels like a spaceship, and I get the word spaceship I hear a lot.
Yeah.
And to someone who drives any kind of normal car, doesn't experience supercars, doesn't experience like a Turbo S PDK launch, or anything like that, to go from a Lexus GS300 to a Tesla Model S is probably like fucking hell. You know what I mean?
It feels like a spacecraft.
Yeah.
Well,
and
it's
to those
also-
of us that are into driving, spacecraft is not a compliment.
Yeah.
That's an insult. You know, it's weird.
I mean, when you remove the sound, like when you watch a movie with a spaceship, they never go. It just goes. And like, so now you get in this car that makes the same sound you've grown up with, that spaceships in movies make, and
See,
Jetsons
seamless
noise.
propulsion.
I get. To me, the way I look at the electric car thing is, I think I love internal combustion. All right, I will always have a gas-powered car as long as I can legally, and probably after. But I'll never argue that it's a better way to power a vehicle. Like if you have half the torque of like my V8 in my drift car, and you put half of that torque in the same car, it's the same weight, it's going to be faster because it has it all the time. Like,
Yeah,
it's a better motor.
It's not that. No, I don't even think people who aren't into electric cars are there's very few of those gasoline. It's really just about the charge times and the charge locations. You know, if you could charge a car in 10 minutes and there were an eighth or a tenth of the existing gas stations nationwide became charging stations where you could charge electric cars in 10 minutes, you would have a mass adoption of the technology. But most people are, including myself, find pure electric cars to be inconvenient. for their lifestyle. Unless you were on a really, really, not most people who don't have a typical commute that's predictable.
Yeah.
You know?
If you have if you're commuting the
The
same
people
way
who
every
do
day.
can't imagine charging anywhere else. I mean, I hear my neighbor's got a Tesla. He only charges it at his house, but he doesn't drive that often. So when he does drive, it's like he can't imagine ever going to a gas station again. The other hand is like, I can't imagine not being able to fill up somewhere as convenient as a gas station.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it'll be interesting. So, what was it, the UK, I think, that just said they weren't going to allow the sale of gasoline and diesel vehicles in 2040?
I mean,
I wonder if that's actually going to go through.
how easy is it for them to just throw some fucking wild claim at the wall and then walk it back
23 years away.
80%?
Do that all the
You know?
time.
Of course. This started with, remember, Volvo, right? Remember like 6 months ago, oh my God, Volvo, every car they make is going to be electric by blah, blah, blah. And then every other car company had to jump on the fucking bandwagon.
Well, in
Ford
Volvo,
on it.
like the asterisk there is they're saying they're going to have an electric motor for every
Yes.
vehicle in their lineup, but they will still sell them with engines as well.
Right.
So
basically
they'll have
they
an
said
electric lineup.
hybrid or EV.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
So it's like, oh, it's the same thing. Yeah.
But then everyone else had to jump on this bandwagon and make some kind of claim, that they're all going to walk back.
Yep.
will. And
Look,
but-
girl, in 2040, I'm going to be making $1 million a year. So if you fuck me now
Yeah.
and get in early,
take care of
you can
you.
get a piece of that.
Get on this IPO.
Yeah, and then 2039 comes around. No, things fell apart. The other administration fucked it up.
Yeah. I'll be curious.
By the
to
way,
see
where's
what
that
happens.
birth certificate?
I'm interested to see what goes on in the car world over the next 20, 40 years. We live in a cool time. There's a lot of neat stuff out there. Car companies are doing some unique, interesting things. Whether it's just for enthusiasts like us that love cars. I mean, the Dodge Demon has no market, but they're building it.
Nino's dad got a Demon.
There's
Really?
yeah.
Oh my God.
Our homie's dad is the perfect Demon customer, and
That's awesome.
He got one. He's very excited about it.
And he should be. That's awesome. Like that thing is cool. But it'll be cool to see how things progress because, you have self-driving coming on, which is becoming a much bigger thing. Like automatic driving will eventually become ubiquitous everywhere. Manufacturers are doing some cool stuff right now. The technology is ridiculous. Like we chatted about this morning. Your M3, Zach, is the E46 M3. I think is a really well-balanced car, and everybody seems to love it. But it's got less power than like a brand new minivan, and that's like really kind of disappointing, but that's the reality of it. I mean, what year is the car?
02.
So it's 15 years old, and now it's literally getting outpowered by nothing, by like Honda Civics, and it's brutal. Like
the new Mustang has as much power as my 12-year-old V12 Aston Martin.
Yeah, was it 450? I think
That's
in the new
460.
Mustang? 460. Yeah.
I mean, V6 Mustangs. If you listen to Maximum Driftcast,
Yeah, every
like,
now and then.
they were talking about what should people get, and they're like, the 240 tax is ridiculous. You can go out and find a newish V6 Mustang or Camaro, and you'll have more power than an SR20 will make, reliably without parts.
major work.
Yeah.
Wow.
And everyone's like, oh yeah, you don't need a V8, you don't need a turbo, you can get a nice V6 and it'll work.
I've told people for years now, go find a 350Z. Go find a 350Z or a G35 that people have kind of beat on a little bit.
Take a beating.
Yeah, and just go drift. Like
They
it's
use,
ready. It's done. There's your car.
Our boy Drift 101, drift101.com if you're in LA and you want to drift.
Oh, yeah.
Naoki. Yeah, he's the man, dude, and he's got this supercharged 350Z. Is it a 37? It's a 350. It's a supercharged 350, and man, everyone beats the piss out of it, and it apparently never breaks.
Yeah.
It's got a HKS centrifugal blower on it.
Yeah.
And there's a girl I
cars.
follow on Instagram who I met up there last time. Her Instagram's Helmet Hair, but she's like 20 and professional stunt driver. Her dad, his Instagram's 1X Stunts, and he does a bunch of coordination for like all the Fast and Furious movies and stuff. Like he's OG stunt driver.
Yeah, I wish I had that
She bought Trimble's old Z actually.
Oh, really?
And she uses that for practice, and it's like she's like it's never
Nice.
broken. You just you
Yeah.
put like a good diff in it. Or you can
Brianna
find one.
Lynch.
Yep,
Oh, look,
Brianna
there's
Lynch.
Trimble's old stunt driver.
It's red now.
I met this girl.
We met her
We
when
met
we
her.
did the G Wagon.
Yeah.
She took Spinelli for a ride.
Oh, and the
Oh,
G-Wagon,
I-
it comes full circle.
No,
I
Right.
met
This
this
was
girl.
hilarious.
This girl was cool as fuck.
She's super chill.
Yeah, black chick.
She had
was super cool.
We met her. She had a 240, and she was just sliding around on the skid pad at Willow. And we asked if Spinelli could ride with her, just like we finished filming for the day. And she took him for a ride, and he came back like green and freaked out. And I was
As
telling
he
this
does.
story to this other stunt driver there, and he goes, Yeah, Mike seems like the one who doesn't know how to drive fast compared to Chris and Matt. he's like that makes sense for Spinelli to be a little bit worried going sideways.
Yeah, follow this chick on Instagram. Shout out helmet.hair, HAIRR. Her name is Brianna Lynch. Stunt driving. She's super
good.
Cool.
She's good.
That's
follow
awesome.
her on
Yeah,
Instagram.
the 350Z, man, and they're cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them around for like $4 or $5 grand, and no, they're not in great shape, but mechanically they're fine, and that's really all you want.
And it'd be way better than a $4,000 or
Yeah.
$5,000 240, probably.
Well, yeah, and you know what honestly has been driving me nuts since getting into this industry is constantly people ask you, what do I need to do to my car?
Drive it.
Drive it.
Yeah.
Drive it.
Spend money on gas.
Buy fuel
spend money
and
on
tires.
tires. You don't need to like, oh, well, I need coilovers. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
I got to get a seat. I got to get a harness. No, unless the rules in your series you're running say you need it, don't do it. Spend money driving because
If you have money to spend on safety equipment, I would consider it.
Well, totally. I'm not saying don't spend money on safety equipment,
Yeah.
but ultimately, if you want to drive, you have to drive. And people get so hung up in like, well, I'm doing this build, and that's fine. If you like building cars, go nuts, build a car. That's awesome. I'm not saying don't do it, but if your goal is to drive, go fucking drive.
yeah.
Drives me nuts constantly. People are like, what should I do with my car? Like, I don't care.
Drive it.
Get it done.
Yeah.
Go
my
drive.
friend after I went sliding around, he's like, you want to do like some coilovers? I was like, no. I'm like, why? I'm like, well, because the good ones are a couple grand, and that's X number of days of actually driving and doing a thing.
Yeah.
And I'll learn more by doing the thing than buying the parts.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people get caught up in the world of, especially when you live on the internet and you just look at how a car sits, like, I want my car to sit like that or look like that, either inside or outside or whatever. So I need these coilovers and these wheels. And I want to do this piping on the interior and blah 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 blah. And you can just get pulled into like the build world.
Yeah.
Doing it for the gram, bro.
And you're like,
I did
oh,
this-
these handle way better. It's like, where?
Yeah.
In the parking lot? No.
I did the YouTuber challenge thing with my Mustang, like whatever.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
which
fake.
was
Yeah, it's like a
awesome.
fake race.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was, whatever. Not fake, like fraudulent, but it was a fucking fun. It's not
Yeah.
a real thing. And people were like, "Well, so what are you gonna do now?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Well, you need to add horsepower. I mean, you didn't win." And I go, "I didn't win what?" And they're like, "The YouTuber challenge. You got to have more power now. So when you do it again, so you win." I go, "The fuck do you think I care about winning a non-existent race?"
Like, why? So I can come
break.
back and have my car not work and blow up on the truck
So
the other
my,
guys?
so my car can only run one session too.
Yeah.
I ran like 5 sessions that day.
So David, who I mentioned as a friend, I chatted with him years ago before he started doing his blue 240, and he just constantly was like, "Well, my subscribers want
Oh, don't listen to them.
a 2J," and I think he wanted it as well. To be fair, but like that's what they were saying.
Yeah.
So he asked my opinion. I told him, I was like, honestly, if you want to drive, you really want to do motor swap. I know it's lame. Do an LS. Everyone's figured out all the problems with them. I know it's not special, but if you really want to drive, that's my recommendation. He didn't do that. His subscribers love his car, but at the same time, like I watched that project come along, and it was just one thing
headache.
after another of
Yeah.
well,
It looks
the
nice
turbos
now.
failed. It is awesome.
a really
I've driven
pretty
it.
car.
I
Yeah.
haven't driven it. I rode in it with him in Atlanta.
And it was
badass.
fucking fast too.
Yeah, it's like
In the
500 horsepower.
Yeah, in the straight lines it was fast. It had like no brakes.
Yeah.
Justin
Yeah,
Bell
he
was
was
like,
saying-
ah.
Yeah.
They had no brakes.
That's a drift car, bro. Why slow down? Just
Yeah.
e-brakes.
I hate to call this, but you guys got to catch a flight.
Yeah, we should probably head out.
That sucks. It's been good having you.
Yeah, right back at
This is
you.
a good time. It's always nice to see you guys, and nice to meet you, Jeff.
Yeah,
Glad
nice
you
to
could
meet you
join
too.
us. You have an open invite to return.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you should come back because he bought a bug to turn into a Class 11 car.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
With
And I
another
didn't
one of
realize
the drivers
he
we
did it,
drive
but
with.
he did it this week while they were working. They were like him and a friend were on Craigslist.
Floor pans are in my car, and he
Oh
had
my
to sit.
God.
He has to
Yeah.
sit all crushed up against the dashboard. I still got to come back and pick the car up. It's in the DoubleTree.
I was
Holy
I was
shit.
a little butthurt because I worked with these guys all week, and out of nowhere they just disappeared one night without saying anything. And the next morning there's a lime green VW Beetle in the garage next to the G Wagen, and I was like, "What? I would have gone. Let me know. I'm down for that. I'm not going to buy it out from under you."
But now you know there was no room for you, as you learned this morning going to breakfast.
Yeah, that's why. It was being thoughtful. But yeah, it'll be fun to see that thing come.
Yeah,
together.
when that's done, definitely come back.
Definitely.
You want to plug anything while you're here? guys have any plugs?
I mean, my Instagram's jawindustries.com.
jawindustries.com. We'll put it in the description of the podcast.
Yeah.
And TJ Drives on Instagram.
That's all my social media is TJ Drives. And
thanks, guys. What's the name of that highway? Beartooth?
The Beartooth
Highway. We're going to have to check that out. Is that your 911?
Yeah, 80. Well, no, it's not my 911. That's my customer's 911. It's an 87 Targa. We just did a full chassis restoration on and rebuilt the engine.
Alex Roy hypothesized that 1987 was the pinnacle analog year of the sports car.
First era.
And then I agreed with him. I went out and bought an 87.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah.
This was a good one.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate having you. And for those of you listening out there, I hope you've enjoyed our new podcast setup. Extra shout outs to Zach and Timmy for setting it up. Sounds good in my headphones. I hope it sounds that good in the recording. We'll see.
Hope so. Sounds nice.
We will see. The Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. All you need is $10,000 worth of podcasting equipment. And you too can have a show. All right. We'll see you later. Goodbye.